Yeah, I was just gonna say you might want to get on top of those microphones a little bit more. Blowing away, a little bit more. It's a cruel reality, and keep me from. It's the whole suspicion has crept in and ruined my life. I'm mixed up and hassle and warm. Well, now it's pure indignation. It's just another sensation. You know I had a lot to knock on that door, but the boy keeps on calling for more. Yes, and my sweet child wife, she ain't had a night. Oh, and love has robbed me blind. And my sweet child wife, she ain't had a night. Oh, and cocaine has robbed me blind. I said, blow away. This a cruel reality. Yes, and keep me from its dawn. Oh, and my sweet child wife, she ain't night. Oh, morphine has robbed me blind. I know what you mean.
Where'd you get right here, John? Because I'm so loud. Let's see. Sit down on a
Been warped by the rain, driven by the snow, drunk and dirty. Don't you know? And I'm still willing. I was out on the road late at night, seen my gray Alice in every headlight. Alice, Dallas Alice. And I've been from Tucson to Tucumcari, and watch it be a torn apart. Driven every kind of rig that's ever been made. Driven the back road so I wouldn't get away. And if you give me weed, white sand wine, and you show me a sign, I'll be willing to be moving. wind. Right by the sleet, had my head stove in, but I'm still on my feet and I'm still willing. And I smuggled some smokes and folks from Mexico, baked by the sun, every time I go to Mexico. And I'm still, and I paid from Tucson to Tucumcari. The hatchet beat a torn apart. Yeah, every kind of rig that's ever been made. Driven the back roads so we get away. And if you give me weed, whites and wine, and you show me her sign, I'll be willing to be moving.
Thank you. Thank you for stopping by on Tuesday Night Fights, man. Tuesday Night Fights with Bruce Gass. And I gotta get it right over here, man. I have to. Yes, sir. We'll get that down from there. We'll show you who I am over here, man. There we go. There. Tuesday Night Fights. And last night I was here most of the time by myself. My buddy G5 came by to save me halfway through the show, but tonight I got a stranger who come back in, like kind of like that puppy dog who runs away from you and he comes back wagging his tail like I say, calm down, boy, calm down. I don't know if I got any food for you. You didn't come around last week, and we went down to the store this week, and the shelves were kind of bare. But seeing as how you're here, man, I'm gonna throw you a bone, and here's my long lost brother, my brother George Jakovic, man. Salute my brother George.
I'll never run away. Just a little blip last week, and I'm here now, and it's Tuesday. It's
yes,
Tuesday,
it is,
baby.
Yes, it is. Let me get our background music up here, bro. Let me get let's see, where is it? Oh, that's not where it is. It's little dark blues. This is kind of what we like to keep us abreast over here, man. So George, tell me, man, how's it been in the Joe Smith camp, man? Everybody's anticipating bated breath, bro. Tell us, is Joe Smith going to be the man?
He's got a chance. It's a 2-part show I'm doing for ESPN on his fight with Better Biev, and it's both guys. I was in Joe's camp, but you have to fight the fights, and Better Biev's been dropped a few times by guys that don't hit as hard as Smith. Smith's just got to land the shot. If he lands the shot, then he's got a chance. Better Biev he's an animal, man. He trains just, he's like a machine every day, the way he trains. But I can't wait. Now that we've got a lot of these big fights out of the way, June starts tomorrow. That fight's June 18th. And I can't wait.
I'll tell you, are you feeling the electricity in the Joe Smith camp?
Yeah, absolutely. And I got to tell you, his trainer, guy by the name of Jerry Capobianco, might be the nicest guy I ever met in my life. Really good, great story. Joe Smith is the only fighter he's ever trained. One and only fighter who's ever trained. The guy's a world champion. Hey, man, that's Long Island. That's right around the corner from me. So, you know who I'm
man, you can take the boy out of boxing, but you can't take boxing out of the boy.
Yeah.
We try to give him his fix over here on Tuesday Night Fights. He's got that one round with George thing going on, man. But when the man needs to smell the sweat, the resin, he's got to hear that bag popping, man. That's why I love my brother George so much. Because look at him, man. He's like a little kid in the candy shop over there. I can tell, bro. You're having the time of your life, aren't you, man?
Absolutely. Hey, and I'm having the time of my life now because it's Tuesday, and I'm back on baby. Tuesday Night Fights.
Yeah, man. Let's see who stopped in there to say hi to us tonight, man. Because bro, I was once again like. I was thinking, I said, what am I going to do this week? And I said, we talk a lot about cheating in this game. I said, let's go back and talk about some of the biggest cheats that I saw and maybe they came a little before, but I mean, we're in a sewer tank over here. You know that, brother, and sometimes these are the people we deal with. Anyway, let's see who came in here tonight. W right side, bro. Shout out to you, man. Thanks for coming by. First one in the building, bro. Always showing love, man. Thank you. Mo Boxing, my bro, from across the bay. So across the ocean. Across the bay is Fall River, Massachusetts. This man's way over there, man. Shout out to my bro Mo Boxing. Mr. Pads, always showing the love, man. Shout out to you, Mr. Pads. BK, thanks for coming by, my bro. Carlos Mendoza. The short bus gang has arrived. Perfect place to be, my bro. Oscar Prince Botang, salute my brother. Mr. Pads, once again. Mad Chad, I sent you a link, bro. Check your email if you want to come up here.
Yeah, Mad Chad.
With us, bro. Dick Justice, my Croatian brother over there. I'll tell you, George, we're worldwide over here, bro. Croatia, Ireland.
Boxing brings everyone together.
Long Island. And we got them all over here, bro. Let's see who else is up here, man. John McSmith, man. John McSmith.
Yeah,
that's
John.
That's my fact checker. I got to make sure I do my homework when I come up here because John McSmith, he'll call me out in a second, bro.
Yeah, John's. I miss John. He's always in here. So he was in.
He was
in here last week too.
And bro, you're not gonna miss John McSmith because when he's in here, you're gonna know he's in here. He lets it be known, and he's one of our Patreons of Tuesday Night Fights. So shout out to Nick Smith out there, bro. Anybody else that they missed that came in here, man? Because we Vince Williams, salute my brother Vince Williams. We do this for ourselves, but whenever we can have people that watch us, and bro, today's a special day for me. You know, George, I'm a Tokerholic over here, bro, and I have to share something with my fam out there, man. I got two strains today. The first one is a very, 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 very nice strain, and this strain is called Dosey Do. And look at that. Look at that beautiful little nugget there. The trichomes. That's a beauty.
Why is it called Dosey Do?
I don't know, bro. It's the name that they give it. I'm sure we could pull it up and do a show on that, and that's what I like to do. But I know tonight is boxing. But I got one more I got to show him, bro. One more that I have to show him. This little devil here is called Sour Diesel. Sour Diesel. I mean, man, we should all be hung like that Sour Diesel. Look at the size of that jewel. It's got to be about. Let's put that up there so we can look at. Maybe you can see the bugs walking around in there. There we go. Boom. Look at that beauty. I'm a little shaky. The bud is not. This is I mean, you can see the size of this bad boy. This has got to weigh about 3 grams. Beauty. I'm back in the jar for tonight. I got a little on the tray here, but I know John McSmith, he likes that Sour Diesel. McSmith comes on here, and whenever I do a Toker on the Toker 2, he says he's got to do one too. So all
right, John.
I don't want to leave John McSmith out over here.
No, never.
Hey George, before we start talking about the cheaters, how about the lightweight division, bro?
Rolly Romero talked his way into a fight because he really didn't do anything to deserve it, but he talked his way in, and I'll give him credit. He made it interesting for a while. It wasn't the shootout that I thought it was going to be. The way they trash talked, they were both very respectful of each other's power. But
excuse me 1 second.
Yeah.
Hey, baby, I need a lighter. When you got no flame, George, you got no
always
flame.
Always got to be prepared.
No sanity. Well, fortunately, I have a chief second over here that's always prepared. And,
yeah, there you go. You got to have a good corner.
All right, bro. I mean, Tank Davis. What do you think, man?
Tank did what I think people thought he would do. I thought it would take more than one shot, but he knocked him out with one shot. And the thing about Romero, he talks so much. I mean, he ran. It's funny. He talked so much. He talked his way into a fight, and then he ran right out of the ring when he lost. So he did talk at the post-fight press conference, and he said he thought he was dominating every minute of every round, which he wasn't. Not much happened the first 5 rounds. I mean, I thought it was close. I thought Tank was up by a point or two, but all it took was one shot, and it was over. So, we'll see what else Romero. Maybe he'll fight his way into a shot next time rather than talk his way in, because he's got some power. He's raw, but he's a little. He talks a lot, and he talked his way into a shot, and then talked the talk, and he couldn't walk the walk.
That's true. That's true. I mean, but there's no doubt that Tank has got that one punch ending power, which is, to me, that's what makes people attracted to boxing. I mean, we can talk about a great 12-round fighter. I think Shakur Stevenson's one of the best fighters in the world. Devin Haney, same thing, but they don't have that pop of a Tank where anytime, don't blink, because the fight could be over. And we saw as much talking as Romero as Rolly Romero did. Once he got cracked, he didn't say, he wasn't objection when that referee stopped the fight. It was, I kind of like when he was being walked back to the dressing room by his dad and Tio Senior. He's like, "What happened?" I caught that at the end, and I think it was almost like a Marlon Starling where he really didn't know what was happening. He didn't know if he won the fight, if he got knocked out. It was like
it was a good stoppage. And Tank is really he's just a well-rounded fighter. I mean, he's smart. He can box when he needs to. He's outboxed everyone he's fought. He can outbox you, and then he can land one shot to end it. That's pretty rare that a guy has that combination of talent, because Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker, master boxers, but they weren't known to be able to stop you with one shot. And Tank can do it with one shot. And he's a small lightweight, and he knocked out a big lightweight with one punch.
And he also is very he's a shock absorber. Mm-hmm. He got hit with some decent punches, and he has throughout his career. But I've never seen. Well, obviously he's never been knocked down, but I've never even really seen him hurt and stunned and confused in a fight. Which is what I want to see. I want to see him when he has to, when he's got blood coming over his eye and it's falling in. When he gets in a little panic. When he gets knocked down and has to get up and look towards his corner, because he seems to me like he looks to the referee a lot during the fights. He gets hit low, he gets hit behind the head, but he really complains a lot. It's almost like he wants to. I don't know, man. I don't think that's a good look.
It works most of the time, though. Have you noticed when he complains, the ref usually, so he knows if he complains, 9 times out of 10, the ref is going to warn the other fighter or something like that. So, but I hear you. You don't want to see that. But like you said, he's got a chin. He takes a shot, and it makes me think Isaac Cruz was never hurt in their fight. So Isaac Cruz, maybe one day down the line we'll see a rematch, because he's a tough dude, man. And he walked through Tank. He, like Oscar Prince said, Cruz laughed at Tank's power. I don't think he laughed at it, but he wasn't shook like most of the fighters Tank hits with are shook. He wasn't.
And Cruz didn't get that prolonged beating where I don't think that's going to change him much as a fighter. I think he's going to come back. I think he's going to realize he lapsed. He had that lapse. Shout out to my bro Picasso out there, man. Salute. But I think you're right. I think he could come back. A rematch, I don't know if that's in the cards. Not as infrequently as these fighters fight today.
I don't want to see a rematch. I mean, let him fight his way back. I don't think he deserved a title shot anyway, but most fighters don't. He talked his way in. Now he's got to fight his way back to a title shot.
Now, let's stay with the lightweights for a bit more, bro. In a few more days. I mean, this is, I heard somebody talking about it today, and they said, is this the biggest lightweight fight of all time? And I'm saying, I said, nah. But something in my lifetime, I'm reflecting, bro. I think it is, man. I think it is. This is for all the marbles, undisputed in a 4-belt era.
It's funny, though. Is it real? Like, I don't want to drag this out in the title belts, but Gervonta Davis has a a WBA world or a super. Who's the super champ? Who's the world champ? Like this is where they say it's all the belts, but then the promoters will say, "Wait, Tank's got a belt too."
Yes.
But you're right. There's 4 belts on the line.
Mm-hmm.
There's some drama because Haney, his dad's not over there. So Yoel Judah's in the corner, Zab Judah's dad. So good fight. I mean, I can't wait. Cambosa's I knew who he was, but not many people expected him to beat Lopez. But it's funny in boxing. Lopez was like going to be the next king. Then he loses and everyone shoves him to the side. And a lot of people say Cambosa is going to be the guy. If David Haney can take a shot, which I think he can, it might be a hell of a fight.
I think it's a 50-50 fight, bro.
Yeah.
William Old School on that, bro. Salute, man. Thank you for coming by. And like Picasso said, it's belts when it's convenient.
Exactly.
We're looking at that WBA Reggie belt that Tank has. Trevor Bryan has that same belt at heavyweight. And who says Trevor Bryan is the any part of the heavyweight picture? Never mind a heavyweight champion.
Right.
So it's screwed up. The belts, dude. I grew up in a two belt world.
Me
and
too.
even then, people were saying how corrupt they were. How the WBA that they started in Venezuela, then they went to Panama, and then back to Venezuela. I mean, and we never had any jurisdiction over these. We still have no jurisdiction, but yet we blindly follow. They tell us who the champion is, and oh, bro, the WBA, man, they didn't even recognize Larry Holmes for 7 years. They had all these different heavyweights at their convention. Burgess Meredith, man, shout out to you, bro. Thanks for coming by, man. But, man, now we have 4 of them. And people ride with one. They're saying the other's corrupt. And, bro, to me, they're all the same.
But not only 4, you've got like world champion, super champion, interim champion.
Oh,
it's just like Picasso says, when it's convenient, because any promoter is going to say Tank Davis is a champion. I'll tell you what, Tank Davis is a big draw. Almost 19,000 people in Barclays. He's selling out arenas all over the country. Yeah. Atlanta. I mean, he is a big, big draw. And his people are going to say he's got a belt. He's a champion. He's definitely one of the best lightweights in just a great division. It's a great division, man.
I'll tell you, bro. Saturday, I'm in Australia. I just showed you that big bud that I had. That's in the jar until Saturday. That's special.
That's a special Saturday bud?
Bro. This is a Saturday. I think, is it in the morning, late morning, afternoon? I know the time is
well, it's Saturday night for us. It's Sunday. You're right. I don't know if it's Sunday afternoon in Australia.
Okay, it's Saturday night there.
But it's Saturday night for us. Yeah.
All right. Because I still haven't gotten myself situated right with the world times. How I like the fights in the UK where they're in the afternoon, 4 or 5 o'clock, and then we catch a Saturday night. Because man, I say it so many times. Those stacking of those cards when they actually have the nerve to put 3 cards on at the same time. I mean, come on. What I mean.
And last week that Showtime pay-per-view, it ended pretty late as usual. I mean, it was 1 o'clock in the morning.
It was a trash card.
Terrible.
It was. I mean, bro,
terrible.
How can pay-per-view sustain? I mean, anybody who knows anything about a telephone, a cell phone, they know how to stream a fight. They're coming in 4G. Mine didn't fade on me once during this whole transmission, bro. Anybody who's paying for this, supporting this pay-per-view industry, because the money's not going to the fighters, bro. I mean, this is going to those suits and ties. These are the only people in the world who I'm afraid of is the guys who, the guys that have a briefcase in their hand.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what boxing's come to. And some people will actually say, you're not supporting boxing. You're going to illegally stream that fight, bro. No such thing, man. I've been supporting boxing all my life, and we're supporting boxing right now. But I'm not going to pay for something that you get for free, legally for free. I mean, my mama didn't raise an idiot, bro. I mean, I work hard for every dollar that goes in my pocket, and bro, and I fight for every dollar that goes out of my pocket.
Terrible card. I mean, Lara and
John
Mustache
L.
Guy.
Sullivan. John L. Sullivan, I think that was.
Yeah, exactly. It was. I mean, come on. I mean, that guy had no business getting a title shot because Lara's a champ. He had no business in the ring with Lara, and for that to be the co-main event, you know, most pay-per-view cards are terrible, and I wish it was just 2 fights on the card, just a co-main and the main event, but they want to drag it out for 3-4 hours.
And,
I don't know why.
And then they had the trouble at Madison Square Garden in New York. What do you expect in New York after midnight, bro?
Oh, at Barclays, yeah.
At Barclays, yeah.
Yeah, that's not that wasn't shocking. You know, you saw fights break. Well, you didn't see the fights, but you saw people jumping up every 10, 15 minutes, and you knew there was a fight in the stands. And I saw some of that stuff on YouTube. Horrible. You know, that's the last thing you want to see at a fight is a fight in the stands.
Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. But hey, George, who you picking on this weekend's fight?
I'm going with Haney. I'm going with Haney. I think he's going to have to walk through some tough moments, but I'm picking Haney. I think he's the more skilled fighter. You know, skills doesn't always win fights, so they have to fight the fights. And I always tell you, if I could pick the fights, that would be my job. If I could pick winners of fights, that would be my job, Bruce. I would be coming on your show as like the Las Vegas handicapper or the Las Vegas guru for picking fights. You know, I like Haney. And I'm going for the American in this one.
It's going to be just another great weekend. I'm so looking forward to these weekends, and it's one to the next. And like a lot of people are talking about the face of boxing. I've been hearing a lot of that lately. Of course, you know, everybody who said Canelo was the face of boxing, but now Canelo's beat. But then some say he's still the face of boxing. To me, that's a fictitious, a subjective title. Nobody jumps out at me anymore in the world of boxing. You know, I have nothing beyond the love of the sport for anybody fighting today. Anybody fighting, you know, you can tug my heartstrings when you start mentioning the greats, man. You know, you start mentioning Ali, and I'm gonna have to dry my eyes. But the fighters today, I love boxing. You know, boxing and maybe 2 or 3 other people in my life, but boxing is key. But the individual fighters, man, I just want to see a good fight, and I hope they don't get hurt. I hope they make a lot of money, fight on, live long, have kids, man. But don't fall in love with a fighter. Fighters will break your heart, man. Believe me. Love the sport.
Hey,
you know?
at least we've had a lot of great fights. This has been almost every single weekend, Bruce. You have a major fight or a big fight or a fight that people are looking forward to. I don't remember a run like this that was sustained this long in a while.
No, bro. This is like the old days.
Yeah.
Except we didn't know what was happening until a week before, and it was like I said, bro. It's the closest thing I can think of to the old days. I'm almost getting that passion back again. I mean, it's taking me back. It's really every week. It's something else.
Every week, like you can't, like Saturday, like you know what you're doing Saturday night. You're not doing anything. You're gonna watch whatever the fights or the cards. You know what you're doing on Saturday, and it has been a strong run.
And then we're getting the rematch coming up soon with Joshua and Usyk. Oh, bro.
Yeah, that one's supposed to be in Saudi Arabia, and I just saw today that Joshua is being trained by Robert Garcia, which seems like an odd pairing, but Robert Garcia knows what he's doing, so.
I just don't think it's going to make any difference at this time. Hey, let me shout out. I got somebody that just jumped in the back door. Let me let him in. You leave that gate open in the back, man. I told you.
You never know who's going to come in.
Keep that pit bull back there, because, bro, here he comes, man.
Oh, man. Hey, it's too early for you. It's too early for you.
The gang's almost there,
I would have hopped on earlier, but I would have hopped on right on time. But then as soon as I'm about to get ready to hop on, I had like a 20-minute phone call. I was like, God damn it.
Yeah, of
Because
course.
I had dropped my kids off early. But I said, I'm in before 6:30. Let's go.
Oh,
They
man.
just getting warmed up.
Jeff Lucietta, bro, thank you for coming by, man. I'm gonna shout you out. And I think I saw a couple other stragglers come in here. All right, let me Tony
Salute
Boswell.
everybody. Salute
Tony
everybody.
Boswell. Yes, sir, man. G5, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you for coming by, man. I've been talking to you all day. I feel like we haven't left.
Oh,
We just took a little dinner break and we're
man,
back at
come
it
on,
again.
man. I don't get tired of Brucey, man. Come on,
Can't
man.
get tired of
You
Bruce.
know me.
First guy I hear in the
Oh,
morning,
hell
the
no.
last guy I hear before I close my eyes. And man, you know, G5 spitting out that good shit out of his mouth all the time, smoking that good shit on the other end of it, man. I don't know, bro. He's kind of like that young son I never had, man. I just met him, and we got a lot of catching up to do, you know. But anyway, bro.
Man, you my OG brother I didn't have. I'm like, man, that's my brother right there, man. George, that's my other brother. He came on after, later on, but I'm like, okay, he good. He good. He good. So I enjoy this, man. I'm having fun.
We're here on
I'm
a
having
Tuesday.
fun in the AM, man. I'm up early. I run that joint for about 3-4 hours average. Room of watch time hours up, and all that stuff. So man, we good. Now we just worrying about subs now. Every other thing is cool. So
I broke the five. We all broke the 500 mark. You, me, Chad. We're gonna get George up. You know George. Once people know George is cooking out there. In fact, I don't even want anybody to know about George. Because
man, if I can get George in the morning,
50,000 subs, bro. And this guy, I'm gonna say, I made that guy, and he's gonna be.
Hey, yes, sir, Bruce. In the AM, that's free promotion. I tell all my guys, plug
Me
the
too,
links.
man. Me too.
Yeah, shoot.
I tell him he's my go sub to my friend George Jakovic, man. He's the real deal. He not only talks about it like us, but he goes into camps. He rubs shoulders. He probably steals jock straps. I mean, George is right in there, man. So anybody out there, one round with George Jakovic, go out there and sub to that right now, man. It's real short, real precise, to the point, and the production value. I don't know where he learned that shit, but he got his money's worth. We went to that school.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. But
Tony Boswell.
Tuesdays are my days, man. Tuesdays are my nights.
Oh, we're glad, bro. We're glad, man. Tony Boswell, thanks for coming by, my brother.
Man, yeah,
Paul the crocodile hunter. I just want to shout out a couple more came in here. All right, bro. Go ahead, G5, man. We're gonna talk about cheaters in boxing. We're gonna get into some of the cheaters, man.
Okay, the cheaters, man. Unfortunately,
let me start off with one that I'm sure we've all seen him, bro. This guy was the oldest man to legitimately hold a championship, and he did almost everything a cheater can do, and he got away with it gracefully. And his name was Bernard Hopkins. You guys remember Bernard Hopkins?
I seem to remember a fight or two.
You remember some of that hugging, and
alien,
some of those elbows, and I mean, some of those looking at the ref and saying, "Come on, you can disqualify him." I mean, bro.
Bernard knew everything about the sport, and he got away with everything. He knew which side the ref was on. So if the ref is over here, he could do something over here. He just, he knew all the tricks, and he used all the tricks.
Yeah,
he did. G5, you have any good memories? You have any good memories about Bernard Hopkins? Because man, I remember him headbutting. I remember Bernard he could do it, and the ref would ignore it because he was such a veteran. He knew how to distract the referee, and man, but Bernard Hopkins was
like a middle linebacker or quarterback. You know how they're the general, and they are calling in the plays and stuff like that, and they don't necessarily always need the coach, and they know what the rest is, they know what out of bounds is. That's how I kind of see Bernard Hopkins. He's just one of those dudes that was a student of the game, but his student of the game worked different. He used it to get his advantages. I know the game, and my thing was the headbutts, especially working his way inside, and boom, you're like, God damn, you ref, you don't see that? Yeah, we see it, but yeah.
And Bernard Hopkins, he'd put that Brillo pad, bro, and he'd get you open big. He could end the fight. He was an expert. They should have put a glove on Bernard Hopkins' head. He was a wise cheating old man shot.
But
40
Bernard also would get into fighters' heads before the fight, like what he did with Trinidad. You know, taking the Puerto Rican flag and throwing it down. And Trinidad was so pissed off. He would get into fighters' heads before the fight, so he would do it before the fight and during the fight. So Bernard was, hey man, Hall of Fame fighter. He would tell you he did what he had to do when he was in there. So.
Man, let's see. How about
he can punch too. He can crack too. So it's just like if he headbutt you and they kind of throw you off, and then he catch you with a hook or a jab and go to the body or something. Hell, he can knock your ass out because he's already kind of dazed you with a headbutt or throwing hooks and hit you with an elbow. Like I've seen some stuff Bernard Hopkins does, but I mean, if you didn't get caught, I mean, what can we really do? We can identify it, but shit, hell, you what was he? What 47 or something like that? 46, 47 when he won his title.
46.
Who I can't remember. 46, 56,
46. 46 was, yeah, because Foreman was 45, and Bernard Hopkins beat that record by 1 year, 46.
Yeah, that alone, once you get in your 40s, or which I've seen people, I'm not there, but just based off experience, like it takes longer for you to recover after going in wars. You're not gonna snap back, like you was 20, So you had to have something else. You could be in the greatest shape ever, but it's just hard to believe that you didn't have nothing in your system at 46 years old, man. I mean, I'm not saying you couldn't, but the way he was fighting at 46, I'm like, dude.
Well, you know what? Though? Hopkins Hopkins didn't drink, didn't smoke. His diet, he wouldn't eat after like 8 o'clock at night. He didn't put any processed food in his body. So he was a freak of nature, but he took care of himself. Could he have been using stuff? Look, anybody in boxing, if we found out any fighter was a cheater, it's boxing. So who's going to be surprised? But Hopkins was different the way he took care of himself.
Oh yeah. Now he was a health nut. I mean, he was a nut himself, but yeah, I know he kept himself right. So I know if you treat the body well, it'll treat you well.
Yep.
But the recovery time is where that's where I have my issues. The recovery time. At 46 years old, you shouldn't be recovering like that. I don't think so. But
G5 starting a different kind of show here, Bruce. It's the Bernard Hopkins and PED show.
Well,
let's do it. Let's do it right now.
Yeah, dude.
Bro, check out this here, man. This was I'm just gonna throw this on in the background here. We can talk about some of the other cheaters if we want to, but this was Andrew Galata when he fought this dude named Samson Pahua.
Oh my God! When he bit him on the shoulder,
hit him behind the head. I mean, this
crazy.
This is,
he was hungry.
Oh,
he was hungry, man.
This was the first time I saw Galata. It was on Tuesday Night Fights, and this just had to show cheating at its best.
Go ahead,
Go,
Bruce.
Judge.
Andrew Galata, he had all the skills to be a heavyweight champ, and I don't know if it was so much cheating as it was like some fighters. I feel like they run away from success because he had Riddick Bowe done in their first fight and just kept throwing low, and did the same thing in the second fight. And then he was petrified when he fought Lennox Lewis. He had all the physical tools, but up here, I don't know, man. He just didn't have what it took to succeed because he had no need to hit Riddick Bowe low when they fought, especially the first time. He was destroying Riddick Bowe every round, and I don't know, man. Something was off with that guy. We
played that last week. We were talking about fighters who never won a world title, and Andrew Galata was one of them. How he blew it because of his tempers and everything else. But I found this one, and I remember watching this one because Samson Pahua, he was in that category with David Tua. They were considered an abnormality. They had the Polynesian in them, and they were both beating everybody. Samson Pahua, he had suffered a defeat. I can't remember who it was, but this was he was brought in as an opponent. Galata undefeated under Lou Duva's tutelage, but Galata just really showed some nasty stuff in this fight. I can I remember watching this one, bro, and I saw it today. I said, yeah, this is showable worthy. So we're just put this in the background as we're going along, and see if how's that? No, that's not what we want. That's not what we want either. Yeah, that's kind of what we want.
There we go.
There we go. I don't have the production value of one round with George Jakovic.
Hey,
there we go, man.
It's tough to do it on the fly, man. You're doing it.
We're winging it, bro. And I'm not a greenhorn at this either, George. I took a course at my college I went to, Graham Junior College in Boston, Massachusetts, on television production, where we had to direct shows and we had to produce them. We had to get behind the board and use that chromachrome,
Nice.
all that funky stuff. But this was back in the 70s. Now all that education, it's all at the press of a button. But yeah, man, I kind of learn the little tricks, the little things where you don't want dead air, you don't want things to fade. You just want to be sharp and crisp, just like life. But you're a model citizen there. But here we go, Andrew Galata, man, another cheater in the game. You know who was another one who was dirty, man? And I watched on HBO, Marco Antonio Barrera.
Yeah, Barrera. Yeah, Barrera he's a great fighter. Another Hall of Famer like Bernard, but those guys that were so smart, they knew the tricks, man. And Barrera, when he had to, he could be dirty, dirty. He was a rough fighter, man.
He was definitely a rough fighter. I mean, he body slammed Prince Nassim, if I recall.
Which I love, by the way. I mean, no one deserved to be body slammed like Prince Nassim Hamed did in their fight. So I love that.
Cool stuff, man. And he did it through all his fights. When he fought Eric Morales. Dirty fights there. Oh, I mean, Marco Antonio Barrera, he lived and died by it. He loved doing it, and man, I had to take my ad block down to get this. There we go. Just have to eliminate those little nasties in there.
Yeah, man.
No,
Galata was a big dude too, 6'4", like 240.
Yes, yeah, he had everything going for him. We were watching this fight with Bo last week, and I said, man, this guy, he looks like Jack Dempsey in that ring, but he was a dirty fighter. And this fight right here, you watch, man, behind the head punches.
I just seen a couple of them just a second ago. Mm-hmm. 2 quick rabbit punches, boom, boom.
Oh, he hurts him with rabbit punches. That's pretty much how he knocks out Samson Pahua.
Damn.
Well, heavyweights. I mean, dude, Mike Tyson was Mike Tyson not a dirty fighter?
I mean, I don't. It's someone in the chat said what, like, it depends on what you mean by dirty. Tyson, I've seen Tyson throw some of those hooks where he intentionally hit the guy with his elbow, knowing exactly what he was doing, but he was so quick, he could do it. He could do it. So yeah, man, Tyson did. Look, Felix Trinidad, when he fought Vargas, he dropped Vargas twice in the first round. Looked like he was going to knock Vargas out. Vargas came back. He dropped Trinidad. It was like the 5th, 6th round. Vargas started going low. He started going low, and Trinidad started going low on Vargas, and he did it because he was smart. He needed to stop Vargas's momentum, and he did it, and he went low. So, and Vargas says that's if you listen to Vargas, he'll say that's why he lost the fight. But Trinidad went low. He fought dirty when he felt he had to. Evander Holyfield, God, there's a lot of
bro, well, Mike Tyson, I'll never forget in my life, man, when he fought Franz Botois, and I was lucky enough to talk to Franz Botois, and I asked Franz Botois, I said, did Mike Tyson try to break your arm?
Yeah.
Ho ho! He says, ho ho! He said he did. He
How he wasn't
Ooh, I can't believe
disqualified.
it.
How it was like, I think it might have been the first round. He just had a hold of him and they
He was
let the
gonna
fight
chop
go
that
on.
Mm. But boxing is full of, like they say, it's only cheating when you get caught. And so many boxers just have it in their repertoire. Like right here, bro. Freaking Galata could have been so much if he had only restrained himself, only played by the rules. But maybe it's environmental, maybe it's hereditary. I don't know, man. Maybe I don't know what it is, but some people they look for that edge. And in this fight, man, like we said, he bit. This was one of the first times that biting was actually publicly mentioned on a television show that I watched, and it was like, right, he gets him in that shoulder. See how he's in tight with that shoulder? He bites him right in that left shoulder, and it was like, wow. He had the teeth marks in him. We're going to see it coming up. But man, part of the glorious army of dirty fighters. It gives us something to talk about and smile about now. But man, these guys, it's a wonder. George, you were involved with fighters. Did any of them ever pull anything like that with you, or did you ever see it or discourage it, or did you ever deal with it at all?
No, I mean, I've never dealt with it personally, but I did spend time with one of boxing's big cheaters, Antonio Margarito. I worked the fight live when he fought Shane Mosley, when they found the plaster of Paris in his hand wraps before the fight. So I also worked. I was in Miguel Cotto's camp before he fought Margarito the first time, and at that time Miguel Cotto was unbeaten, and we all remember Margarito just he beat the hell out of Cotto in that first fight, and most people think he cheated. Most people think he had loaded hands in that fight. So, Antonio Margarito is a guy who I spent a little bit of time around, especially before he fought Shane Mosley. Then he was exposed in the Mosley fight. He got destroyed, and he never was on that big stage again without that edge, that plaster of Paris in his hands. Louis Resto, like you can go on and on with.
Yeah, I think we might. I've got a few other fights to pull up and going on, but yeah, go, man. Please, all the cheaters that we can talk about. This is what this show's about. It's about these guys who did that extra thing. And there was a dude. I think his name was. I was reading the list. His name was Elbows McFarland.
I saw that list too, and I had never heard of him, but his nickname was Elbows.
Elbows.
Why else are you going to be called Elbows unless you're using your elbows?
He knocked out George Gans in the 23rd round.
Wow.
I mean,
well, back then, I think back then every fighter did that, and it wasn't cheating. It was just like that was boxing.
That was just
boxing.
Style. Yeah, and later in life they brag about it. It was truly the way, there's something to be said for fighters who get away with it and do it and have the longevity. I don't know, man, but it's a part of boxing. I'd rather see that go on in the ring than the stuff that goes on outside of the ring.
Yeah.
Look at that, low blows. Oh, there we go. A little bit of a low blow going on. Or is it a count? No, he's counting it as a knockdown. Wow. Yeah, Galata was just so he did every trick in the book. Well, watch the behind the head. Watch the rabbit punches that he exhibits. Galata, he cannot control himself, man.
He can't, and he just couldn't. Something was off. Something was off with Galata. He
behind the head. Look at that.
He couldn't control himself.
Man, I can't believe that they're giving Samson Pahua knockdowns there where they surely should have given.
Damn, I should have took some points. Like shit, Galata. He hit him with like a 3-piece behind the head. Like, dude,
look, and he's doing
right there.
He's doing it again. I mean,
yeah, left hook behind the head. I mean, right hook. Sorry.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling how he's just getting away with this. And it looks like there's going to be another knockdown there. I mean, and I see some low shots going in there too, man. I just saw blatant low blows going in.
Yeah, he hit him with the first body shot, and immediately after body shot, low blow. Then he threw a right hook, hit him behind the head, and he still didn't go down. I'm like, come on, man.
Nitty G, man, shout out my brother. Thanks for coming by, bro. Watching some of the cheaters from way back in the day here. Not this. What do I say? I say way back in the day. I sound like a fucking piece of history over here, man. This was not long ago. I was sitting in this house watching this, drinking a Budweiser, smoking on a fat blunt, I think it was at the time. G5, what are you puffing on right now, bro? Anything good?
Man, I still got me some Tahoe, and I got what did I just grab? Shit, it just slipped my mind. I was thinking about these fucking rabbit punches. It'll come to me.
Yeah.
Man.
And
Good shot.
The doctor just came in and looked at Samson Pahua and let this fight go on. I think they were going to stop it. Look at that behind the head, blatant another one. Oh, that is just bad. What I said about cheaters, George, I'm taking it back after looking at the way Galata manhandled this guy here, bro. That referee is not doing his job at all.
No.
And man, you know who was another dirty fighter? Evander Holyfield.
Everybody says, you know, except Bobby Chez, that's a whole different issue with the gloves. But everybody says
we're gonna
his head. That's what.
Yeah, we're gonna throw a Holyfield fight on. I think I have one ready to come up after this, man. Let me look at my.
Remember,
room here.
I never saw a guy look like Hasim Rahman did in that Holyfield Rahman fight.
We're gonna have to look at that fight, George.
Unbelievable. I mean, in Holyfield, we all love Holyfield. Who doesn't love Evander Holyfield? Boy, could he use his head to his advantage.
That we're gonna see. That was just so grotesquely.
Oh,
something would. Oh no! Come on, back up there. There we go. They got the. I had to take my ad block down to show this one because it came on. I forget what server, but they keep coming up with these pop-up.
Look at Galata hurt, by the way. Look at Galata hurt. And there he bit him. He just bit him.
That was the bite. Yep, there was that bite.
And Galata was getting rocked. And what did he do? He went right to cheating.
He went right was the bite.
To stop the guy.
Good call, George. Good call, bro. Look at that. And look at that right shoulder. You can see a little.
And he's still in trouble. He's still in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Look at him.
Yep. Oh, yep. Wow. It looks like he's getting ready to bite him again. Oh, damn.
I told you his ass, he was hungry before he got in the ring.
I almost forgot this. What a seesaw battle this was at the end, and what a beating Samson Pahua took. Damn.
I mean, he had Galata almost out on his feet in this round.
Nitty G with that purple Urkel and the Scottie Pippen. I'm smoking. I just showed a couple of buds earlier, man. I got some Dosey Dose and some Sour Diesel, and they are beauties, man. They are. I'm enjoying the hell out of it over here with my old crew and watching some cheaters over here, bro.
Jeff said Galata's on Queer Street. I remember Sugar Ray Leonard. That was his phrase. Like he always says. So he's on Queer Street. Like you can't say that now. If you're a commentator in a fight and you say someone's on Queer Street, you will lose your job.
Oh yeah, they're gonna slap your face for that one. Shout out to Chen Smoke, bro. Thanks for coming by, my man. We're here puffing and there we go. There we go, man. Luke was.
Hey, I got something I ain't smoked in a minute. Headband number 4. Lord, I haven't had none of this in the mouth. I had to hit my guy up, Brucey.
I never heard of it, bro.
You ever had headband? Shit.
No. You know, there's like 1,000 strains out there, but believe me, I try to get my hands on a little bit of everyone, whenever possible. This is the first time I had Dosey Dose, and people say, "Oh, that's I've had that before. That's good stuff. That's a indica predominant." Oh yeah. Look at him split that guard. Andrew Galata just so deficient.
Mm. Hey,
Oh,
Bruce, it's like clothes and shoes. You know how the East Coast they get certain shoes that are out before us, and
yep,
then we
yep,
get them months or a year later.
yes,
That's how it is with the herb. Like certain strands you'll get down south, and certain strands you get like Midwest, California, up north, shit like that. But if you connect it, you can get whatever. You can get your hands on a little bit of everything.
How come so many people like the herb and boxing? Strange combination, huh?
Hey,
I've
Mike
always
Mike
loved it.
Tyson. Mike Tyson loves it.
Con, you hell for that, dude. you you crazy as hell. If that's a real strain, that's crazy as shit. I'm talking about he
Andrew
looking for a
Galata.
strain called cleft palate. It's crazy.
I see it, bro. I see some crazy one. Like this dosey dose. It caught my eye as soon as I saw it this morning. I said, yeah, I'm gonna get some of that.
That's a rapper's strain, a Texas rapper. I believe that's his strain because he always got it. Always.
Well,
Nah, it smells good though. You probably like it if you already started. Yeah.
really nice, bro.
Oh yeah. Got a nice kick to it. Tastes good. Mm-hmm.
Tastes good, and it's the
I believe if I'm not mistaken, does it have more kind of like a OG like citrus taste or some shit to it? I can't remember right off the head. But
there's the butt up there. Nice.
Hey,
oh yeah.
Bruce, how'd you actually get a USA Tuesday night fight on here? I thought they were all
There
down goes Puha.
George. I can't give my sauces, but we USA bros, we stick together, man.
That's good, man, because I thought they had a lockdown on everything. Apparently, they don't.
I'm a thief in the night. We're a non-monetized channel. We kind of can get away with things over here, so we're keeping it on the cuff over here. Nobody knows what's going on. We're helping these fights, and it's for educational purposes and entertainment purposes only. So we thank that 1976 YouTube Act for public domains and copywritten works. We're doing this with we're doing this for no profit gain. All monetary fees go to the creators. And man, God bless the fights. This is for the love of boxing.
Yes, Lord. Tell him, Brucey.
Hey, I'm glad I could remember it. That's all.
Yeah. Kano Loco, my brother. What's going on, Kano?
Kano Loco, bro. I got to keep my eye on that chat, man. I was at the eye doctor today.
Bruce.
I'm scheduled for my surgery coming up. Yeah, that was the end of the fight, bro. Brutal fight, man. Andrew Galata. It just goes to show you, the man. He showed his colors early on in his career, and that's what ended his career, bro. And when it came right down to it, he didn't have the balls to do it with Mike Tyson. He just didn't want to hear it. He lost his biggest fight of his career. He could have beaten Riddick Bowe. He could have been the champion of the world, bro.
You know what I remember too about Galata later in his career after he lost to Lennox Lewis? He was still fighting. Remember when Michael Grant was a heavyweight contender, 6 foot,
yes,
6'7"? Andrew Galata fought Michael Grant, dropped him a few times.
Yes,
he was winning the fight, and he quit in the 10th round.
Yes,
he just quit.
Yep.
He couldn't handle success. He fought clean in that fight, and he was beating Grant. And Grant was like, HBO put a lot of money behind him. Young American heavyweight, unbeaten, big guy. And Galata beat the holy hell out of him, and then he quit. So that shows you, that's everything you need to know about this guy. He just was not built for success.
Not at all. Not at all. Let me pull another one up here for us to watch while we maintain our conversation about the cheaters in the fight game, because we love the fight game. We love the cheaters. We love the faces, the heels, man. Kind of loco, bro. Last night, man, I got invited to a panel. George, you know how it is in this game. We popular guys, we get called to go on a lot of panels, and I got invited to go on Brother D Styles panel, a cat that I know down in Texas, and it's pure boxing, man. 4 gentlemen talking about the fights. It was a nice thing. And while I'm doing that, I get a text from my brother Major Key. He gives me his the StreamYard link. No warning and stuff. I just text him. I says, Maze, I'm sorry, brother. I'm on G Styles panel right now. You know how it is on YouTube, man. You know, we bop around. Man, I go from one to the next. As long as it's boxing, I love it. So anyway, G Styles got over. I go over to Major Keys and Kind of Loco's on the panel. And there was a clown on there. And he's telling 150 that he didn't know shit about boxing because he didn't know Sugar Ray Robinson's record. And he's fucking talking like he's the biggest shit in the world. And I started saying, hey, tell me about this. And, you know, I'm just kind of, I could see the guy was an internet bully. He had a little bit of knowledge. And he started squashing on my 22-year-old brother 150 who knows his shit about boxing. He'll go on there and tell you about Chocolatito and Ragu. I mean, he knows all his boxing, but he doesn't know a lot of the history. And hey, man, he's 22 years old. Give the fucking kid a break. And this guy was telling him he didn't belong in the panel. I mean, I almost wanted to grab his face and smash it through the fucking screen. But man, you know, this is the internet. And it's full of people like that. And I didn't go on the panel because I'm not going to be over-talked. And I'm not going to argue with some idiot who probably maybe read a few Ring magazines that he did.
Exactly.
You know, bro. But anyway, shout out to Kind of Loco because he held it down in there. And, you know, I didn't get on there. And even 150, I texted him there and I says, don't worry about that 150. This guy's a jerk off, man. What about me? Shout out to you, brother. And anyway, 150, he goes, come on the panel. I said, no, it was about midnight. But, bro, shout out to Kind of Loco. And this is the way I like it over here, bro. We don't over-talk each other. We don't, you know, we're not debating or anything. Oh, no. We're just digging boxing, you know, G5?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a competition.
Yeah, because we all got respect for each other.
And but people are also find an article and find a couple of nuggets and sound like they know what they're talking about. But if you want to be a bully and do that, you know, whatever.
Like, man, I wish I would have been over there. I mean, I don't know everything in boxing, but I know quite a bit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm quick with my research. Like by the time he would have asked me that question, I would have already had the answer. You know, so it's like
that wasn't even the point. The point was, man, you know,
no, he was trying to flex like he was a historian.
Yeah, and I think he said the Major Key. There's only two people that belong on this panel, me and you, because we're the only ones that know boxing. And there were a couple of guys on there. And bro, just because they don't know about fucking, you know, Rocky Marciano and before, and you know, and this dude, he just thought he was the shit on there, and that.
Hey, listen, Roger Mayweather would have told him, "You don't know shit about boxing."
Tell him again.
You don't know shit about boxing.
And
he would have put some stank on him when he said it too.
Yep.
but you know, that's why I love over here. And I love these panels where people they're respectful. That's what it is. This guy was just not respectful. And you know, fuck him. I won't go near poison people like that because it's not going to do anything but get me going.
I'm laughing. My bad. I'm laughing at Con.
Oh, you would have G5. You would have for sure. But Kind of Loco was on there, so I was like talking to him just now. That was because he knows he was there. He felt that fucking venom rising, and hey, here we go. He knows it. He didn't even bother to argue. He just left the panel, and I didn't even get on it.
Oh yeah.
I got
it's kind of
two invites. Not even just two invites off the chat to get on there, and I said, nah, I don't even want to. I'm looking forward to over here. And anyway, man, I'm gonna pull another one up here.
Hey, while you're doing that, Get This Smoke said, did you already cover Vargas versus Trinidad and B-Hop versus Trinidad? We talked about Vargas and Trinidad, how Trinidad went low to save himself. And then B-Hop, B-Hop got into Trinidad's head before the fight. So Get This Smoke, we talked about that. Look at the real deal. And Hasim Rahman, two former heavyweight champions.
Oh yeah.
And I always liked Hasim Rahman too. I met his son. I fuck with him on Twitter. Maybe we'll get him on here someday.
Junior. Yeah, he's cool. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, he is, bro. He is, man. And he's accessible. I love that when fighters get, you give them a shout out, they give you one right back. And there's a few of them out there. Like we saw David Benavides on a lot of channels, man. and Vinny Paz, you know, I correspond with him on Twitter. I mean, it's just these fighters. They're just so cool when they come back at you. I've seen Rockman. He's been on a few panels too, and his son.
Vinny Paz, you brought Vinny. Vinny has commented on some of my one round with George. And says he says he likes them. When you have the fighters that like, I love that you want people to like what you do, but when the fighters notice it and when they talk to you,
oh yeah,
hey, that's a different feel right there, George.
Yeah,
that's a different feel.
When they even friend you, it's like they have 16,000 followers and they're following 780, and it's like now they're following 781. It's like, oh yeah, you know, it's almost like I've made it. Vinny Paz is one of my Twitter friends. You know?
Man, Vinny Paz is a character and funny as hell.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vinny is a character, man. Like,
He
cool dude, man. Cool dude.
Top Gun at Providence Place, which is the movie theater around in Rhode Island. And I said, Vinny, I'm going to go check it out at Providence Place. He retweeted what I said, and he shouted me out. He sent me a little tweet, and it's dynamite. You're going to love the movie. And the way that he talks, some people say he talks like I do, but I think I talk like he does. But anyway, man, you know, he's into Top Gun now. That's it. That's his thing. And when Vinny Paz gets into something like that, he's going to get the jacket, the head, everything, bro.
You want to hear something crazy, kind of embarrassing? And I love the 80s is like when I grew up and all those movies, I never saw Top Gun. I'm literally watching it now with my daughter. We just started, my 13-year-old, because I know the new one I never watched Top Gun.
Hey, you know what the 80s did for me, bro?
Oh, I know what they did to you. You said what they've done to you.
George, this week, I don't watch anything but boxing. When I turn the television on, in fact, my remote control broke, and I went to the cable company, and the cable company said, if you have any issues, call us at this number. The office is closed for the COVID. And I'm like, come on. But anyway, I go on YouTube when I get up, and good night, I go on YouTube. Anyway, I was sick of talking about Tank and Rolly, so I went on to one of my movie channels that I have in there, and somebody mentioned Cobra Kai, and I'm like, let me watch one of those episodes, bro. I found it on. I watched all 4 seasons, every episode in about 2 or 3 days, bro.
It's wonderful.
I was almost crying, bro. I grew up with that
lovely,
shit.
Man.
I saw every Karate Kid movie.
Me too.
That's my wife loved them. I watched them 20 times.
Hey, Cobra Kai, like that was genius to
Bruce,
now.
Bruce, Kano was asked, could he hop on?
Yeah, Kano, sure, bro.
You want me to tell him the link while you got this going?
Yeah. Send him the link. That'd be awesome, man.
Yeah, you
know,
you the host. I got you. I'm a co. Let me go ahead and get it to him. Keep
Turner.
the show rolling, my guy.
The great Don Turner in Holyfield's Corner.
Oh yeah. And wasn't Georgie Benton in there too?
I don't think.
No, you're right.
He was in his corner earlier in his career.
Earlier, yeah. All right, now getting back to that Karate Kid, George. I'm sorry, but man, that was. I watched. Let's see, probably about 50 episodes this week. So, bro,
and that's time well spent because I love Cobra Kai. It was genius to do that. Con Shawnery said, "I reject my club card for the '80s for not seeing Top Gun." Yeah, man, I shouldn't have admitted that, but I did see all the Karate Kid movies. So,
hey, honesty is key.
Yeah, that's what we're honest on this show. You know, boxing might be a dirty sport, but if you're on Tuesday night fights with Bruce, you got to be honest.
That's fact.
Yeah.
That's fact.
I mean, you're a pretty honest guy, though, George. So that's part. That's I think that's part of your demeanor, my man.
You know, every time in my life I've done something that I mean, laws, forget it, man. I break laws every single day, twice on Sunday. But as far as me actually breaking the law of man and God, every time I do that, I get caught. I've only done it a handful of times in my life, but I'm not a good crook. I'm not a good cheater. So I just don't do it. If I don't do it, I'm not going to get caught doing it. And I always hurt somebody or myself. So honesty is the only way for me, bro. You know, I live and die by it. And That's what it is. Now, George, that Karate Kid, how they did that from 20 years later, and everybody was in that thing, and John
Genius, man.
Cleese, and oh, bro, and they brought back Thomas Howell, bro,
They brought back everyone that they should have.
and Bobby
They brought him
Diamond,
back.
and bro. George, you know you were a Karate Kid fan, bro. You were a geek when you were a kid. You must have watched that. You must have sat there and Mr. Miyagi. I love Mr. Miyagi, bro.
I mean, it was like the Rocky for
Miyagi
karate.
Do.
Yeah.
It was the Rocky movies for karate. It was the same, the underdog who comes back and wins. And I watched all the Karate Kids, even the really bad one with Hilary Swank. Hilary Swank was in a Karate Kid. She was in like the fourth one. I forget what it was called, but Hilary Swank, it might have been one of her first starring roles. Hilary Swank, who was in $1 Million Baby, she was in the last Karate Kid movie, and
Really?
it was pretty with Mr. Miyagi. There was no Daniel. She was taking his place.
No Daniel-san.
No Daniel-san. So
Damn. No. I just remember the one they went to Okinawa.
that was the second one.
Yeah. No, that was the third one, wasn't it?
No, the second one when they went to Okinawa. The third one is where
The bully.
that guy, can't forget the guy who was in Cobra Kai. He was introduced as the bad guy.
Yeah. Well, I'm so bad with names. I was just watching it this weekend. I was waiting for him to come on Cobra Kai. I figured he was the next guy who was going to walk on.
The next
Man, I got
Karate
2
Kid.
Cobra Kai shirts.
The Karate
That's
bad
my
guy.
show,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
The next Karate Kid, Carlos Mendoza and Chen Smoke said that's the one with Hilary Swank. The next Karate Kid.
Kano, what you talking about? I sent it already.
And then they stopped it.
I sent it as soon as I mentioned it. My co-host.
Look at this. Lewis Tyson. Lewis Tyson was coming up back in that day.
Oh man, one of my favorite heavyweights, Lennox.
Excuse me, I gotta blow my nose.
Boy, Mike Tyson had no business being in the ring for that fight. He just did that fight for money.
Man, because
he trained smoking weed. That's what he did. He was in Hawaii in a training camp, and that's all he did. He smoked weed. He didn't train. And then what happened? He showed up and got smoked out by Lennox Lewis that night.
Oh yeah. I mean, I didn't see him. Even if he was right, I mean, styles make fights, man. That's just a bad stylistic matchup for Mike Tyson, man.
Especially for that Mike Tyson, who at that point was not even fighting for love anymore. He was fighting for money.
For the money, because he wanted to get high.
Now, a 22-year-old like that Mike Tyson against Lennox Lewis, that would have been a
two separate careers.
Different fight.
Two separate. This Mike Tyson that we're talking about against Lennox Lewis is not the same Mike Tyson who fought Michael Spinks.
He was a shell. He was a shell of what he was.
Yeah. He went going through the motions. I mean, bro, smoking the weed or not, he did not have that hunger.
Hey,
he was there to make some dough.
And Bruce, I told you I was ringside literally by the timekeeper for that fight. And you could see it. I mean, everyone could see it. When Tyson walked into the ring, it looked like he was on something. He looked like, I mean, you could see the look in his face. It was just this blank look. I don't know if he was on his meds at that point, but you could pretty much tell what was going to happen. First round came out, he threw some bombs. He tried to land a bomb, and it didn't happen, and he just got methodically beat down by Lewis in that fight. Oh, man. Get This Smoke is naming all these 80s shows now. And Con Charnery. We started the 80s. The Love Boat, Bosom Buddies. Oh, man.
Geo James, shout out, brother. Shout out, man. Yeah, man. You know, because we're all pretty much 80s babies in there. See, I kind of blew off the 70s and the 80s. So I like looking back at them both. And, I look back at a lot of them, and I learned more than I can tell because, like I said, bro, those were both hazy.
Hey, Trick Nolte's in the building.
Trick Nolte's in the building, bro.
Yeah, he's in the chat.
Trick Nolte, my brother. Salute, man. Salute. Shout out to my brother, Trick Nolte. Trick, you're back yet again, man. Thank you for those pictures, George. I didn't. Did I send them to you?
Yes, you did. They're great pictures, man.
I hope I did because I sent them to my boxing friends, and you know sometimes I'm on this, especially with technology. But believe me, you're at the top of my list. I'm glad you got them. And look at that Trick Nolte, bro. Going to New York, meeting up with Lou Del Valle, the only guy who knocked Roy Jones down, the first guy to knock Roy Jones down.
Yep.
And then and Superman Aaron Davis, another one who destroyed the legend Mark Breland when he was untouchable, bro.
Yep.
I mean, Trick Nolte. Shout out to Trick Nolte, bro. He went to the Hall of Fame.
Bruce. Mr. Pads asked us if we've seen any good movies with former boxers in them.
Oh shit, yeah. I'd have to think a bit on this one, but a lot of
what's the famous movie that Cassius Clay was in? He was only in the beginning.
That was Requiem for a Heavyweight.
Yes. So he was kind of in it. I mean, he was in the beginning, but an actor. I mean, Ken Norton was in those movies like Mandingo.
Yeah, and Tex Cobb was in quite a few movies.
Tex Cobb was in an Eddie Murphy. He was in The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy.
Raising Arizona.
Yep.
I mean, Tex Cobb. I spoke with I'm so bad with names, George. And if I saw this dude, his name's on the top of my head right now. I know you're not going to remember, but he's an actor. And he played Big Swede in Heartbreak Ridge, and his name is Pete Koch. And anyway, I was on a show with him. My friend Big Duke, Fourth Quarter Talk. He knows Pete Koch, and Pete Koch knows Tex Cobb because they both compete for the same parts out in California, out in Hollywood. They're both my age. I guess we're gonna call this old. But they're the same stereotypes. They're big guys, and they get these roles like Eddie Murphy got with Eddie Murphy, and like he did with Raising Arizona. Some a killer, a heavyweight. And Pete was telling me what a nice guy Tex Cobb was. He didn't know I was a boxing fan, and he's what that Tex Cobb. Him and I go to the same audition sometime, and then we go out and we party. And man, he's telling me they walk in places and people, like, if they're arguing, they shut up.
Yeah.
And they're just both teddy bears. Where he said Tex wouldn't hurt a fly. He said not that he couldn't, but he wouldn't. He's like Mike Tyson.
What a character, man! Like Tex Cobb. What a character. Oh, Mike Tyson, The Hangover. Oscar Prince just brought that up. Mike Tyson, yeah, he was great. He was that like changed his the Hangover movies changed, like they gave Tyson a whole new career. A lot of people today, they barely know Tyson was a fighter. True. They just know Tyson from the movies, from his play, from talk shows. But he was great.
I think Wilder would make a great personality in Hollywood. He has the gift. He could bring people, bro. I mean, Hollywood is a place. Look what The Rock did. The Rock was WWE. We thought he was at the top of the hill. Bro. He went to Hollywood. He became the highest paid actor in Hollywood now.
Antonio Tarver and Rocky Balboa. That's right, Con Charlery. Yeah. Tarver was pretty good. He was pretty good in that.
Yeah, he was, man. And who was the other one that was in Rocky? The boxer who played Kane, that was Mike Williams.
Yes.
The heavyweight Mike Williams. He played, his name was Kane.
Hey, Bruce, I know you'll know this, but in Rocky 2, when Rocky was training for the Creed rematch,
Eddie the Animal Lopez.
He had a sparring partner, Roberto Duran. Roberto Duran was Rocky Balboa's sparring partner in that movie. You have to go back and you'll see it in the credits. He's only in it for like 20 seconds, but it's Roberto Duran, and Duran wasn't that much smaller than Sylvester Stallone, which shows you like Stallone was playing a heavyweight, which he clearly wasn't a heavyweight. But Roberto Duran, very briefly, was in Rocky 2 as his sparring partner in one of those scenes.
And another one who was in Rocky too was Eddie the Animal Lopez. He was the one who was spit in the bucket. Hey, bring that over here. Now you can go. And Rocky, he just, yes, okay. And then he's the one who had the magazine outside. Hey, it says the Chicken Italian. And that was Eddie. And dude, Eddie the Animal Lopez, he fought one heavyweight to a draw. I can't think of the name of him, bro. I'm so bummed because that I can't remember these names. But he fought.
Well, while you're thinking about that, Ernie Schaefer's could have had the lead in Rocky 3.
I heard
he
that
could have been Clubber Lang, and the rumor, I don't know if it's true or not. He hit Stallone too hard when they were rehearsing. Con Charnery just brought that up. Ernie Schaefer's.
I heard the same exact same thing.
And plus, Schaefer's was just bigger than Stallone. Stallone's not a very big guy.
No, Stallone was a middleweight. He had to juice himself up to be a light heavyweight. But man, shout out to Sylvester Stallone because he definitely brought back boxing alive at a time when it was sleeping.
How about Carl Weathers? Carl Weathers, talk about actors who could play boxers. Carl Weathers looked like he had some skill, some serious skill. He's an ex-football player, so he was a great athlete. And by the way, in Rocky 3, when they raced on the beach and when Rocky beat Apollo, no way, man. He threw that race. Apollo threw that race to give Rocky some confidence. There's no way Rocky Balboa is going to beat Apollo Creed in a foot race on the beach. But Carl Weathers, what an athlete, man. He looked like it looked like he could have been a fighter, man. He looked like he had some serious skills.
Get this smoke. I'll do jazz at another time in here, bro. Because this is Tuesday Night Fights, but I love jazz too, bro. And I could talk jazz all night with you.
I'm looking in the chat. Somebody asked no, in Creed, that was Tony Bellew playing Pretty Ricky Conlon. Yeah, he was playing. That was Tony Bellew.
Somebody mentioned that earlier, but yeah, there's been a lot of them.
Oh yeah, that's right, Tony Bellew.
There's been a few.
Andre Ward was in Creed too.
Andre Ward.
It would be the funny part. Bellew looked better in the movie than he did in real life.
Yeah.
Well, we know Michael Buffer's been in quite a few himself.
Yeah. They made Ricky Conlon look like a monster in that joint.
Mm-hmm. Like a beast.
Man, I mean, I was like, Jesus.
Hey, man, that's the beauty of the movies. They made Sylvester Stallone look like he could knock out 300-pound men. That's the beauty.
Yeah.
The beauty of the movie. Hey, Joe Frazier had a little cameo in the first Rocky.
That's right. Yep.
And Carl Weathers was bigger than Joe. That's just, Joe Frazier, the heavyweights back then just were not big guys. They weren't not like today, because Joe Frazier was smaller than Carl Weathers when they got in the ring together. And that's a former heavyweight champion of the world, a great former heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah, it's
Hall
amazing.
of Famer. Yeah.
We can talk about boxers and movies, and we can it brings the chat in here, and it's a great subject because you never know, anything goes on in Tuesday Night Fights over here, bro. I hate to slide into the jazz thing because that's a specialty show, but boxing and boxers in movies, man. Let's I'll tell you one, George, and G5, Jack O'Halloran in Superman. Remember he played Zod. He was one of the three Zod.
Oh, that was Superman 2, right?
Superman 2, yep. Jack O'Halloran, he fought at the Providence Civic Center, I believe.
Is that right? I didn't know he was a fighter.
Yeah, he fought Chuck Wepner. He goes back to those days. I think he fought the dude.
Hey, Bruce, look at your screen. Look at these pay-per-views coming up. June 8th, Lewis Tyson pay-per-view. June 22nd, Morales Barrera 2 pay-per-view. And then on June 29th, we got Vladimir Klitschko and Merciless Ray Mercer. That is a big June in HBO boxing.
That is.
Oh yeah. They don't have boxing anymore. Sorry. Look, there's no hematoma yet on Rahman's head.
No, not yet. And this is going to be so unbelievable. If anybody hasn't seen this,
Oh,
you're truly in for. You're either gonna say wow and you're gonna be awed by it. Sliding counter, bro. Salute, man. You know, I'm sorry if I'm missing anybody out there. I'm paying attention to the fighting here. My brother Will, you'll be back. I will be here waiting for you, my brother. UGC, man. Shout out to you, my brother.
so Bruce, you were talking about General Zod, the fighter that played him was a fighter, and I never knew that from the Superman movies. I didn't know that.
Hey, bro. Every once in a while, I'll throw one out there that I got it from the boxing magazines way back in the 70s when that movie came out. Jack O'Halloran, and I started looking up his record, and oh yeah, he fought some good names, you know, back in the day. Maybe like Eddie Machen, people like that. You know, back in the as they say, the golden era.
Mm-hmm.
I guess every era is a golden era.
Not every era.
Not all of them. Some of them are some.
Man, the ones I guess maybe I only remember the good things. I try to forget the bad.
Yeah, you actually caught the real golden era. That's why.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But I'll tell you, the shit that's going on week to week to week now is it's up there, and it's really getting good. If they would just get these boxers to weed out the B-sides and get the fights that we want to see. Boxing is really it's going to be awesome if these fights are made.
They're making the fight so far.
I mean they're attempting to. I mean it's only so much they could do. I mean we got to realize, hey, we're in a different era. You know, this is a business driven era in boxing more than any time before.
And it sounds like they're going to make. It sounds like they're going to make Errol Spence and Crawford. It sounds like everything you hear sounds like it's close to being signed. So there's been big fights every week. Most of the big fights are being made. So just keep, hopefully things it keeps going in this direction because it's only good for the sport.
Yeah.
Hey, how many guys do you think?
How did y'all enjoy Castano too? How did y'all enjoy Charlo and Castano too?
I like both guys. I'm a big Jermell fan. It was a great fight, and then it just ended suddenly. I mean, that knockout shot came out of nowhere because Castagna was taking those shots earlier. But it shows you how hard Charlo hits because he was taking those shots until he couldn't take it anymore, and then that one shot crumbled him, and that was it. It was a great fight, man. Charlo, he is the man at 154. He's undisputed.
Yeah, he had to settle in and start boxing because what he was doing, he made that adjustment. He listened to his coach.
Derek James, coach of the year. Like, just lock it in right now. Who else is like right now? It's May 31st. He's a trainer of the year. He's got the undisputed champion at 154. He's got the unified champion at 147. Derek James is a great trainer.
Yeah.
Then he has a young pupil. I mean, another pupil in Frank Martin, who is a damn good fighter. Just let's give him some more time. Give him a little bit more time. Allow him to get in some bigger fights because he can fight. So, I mean, they building up over there, man. So I mean, shout out to Derek James. I mean, hell, I mean, his adjustment game is Jesus.
Yeah. He can
make some adjustments.
And he's a smart trainer, man, and he knows his fighters. He knows their strengths, their weaknesses. And all a trainer can do is put you in position to win. It's got to be the fighter that does it, but he will always put his guy in position to win, and the fighter just has to carry it out.
And he's big. He drives focus and consistency. Like, man, that's his bread and butter. Like he told Earl after the fight, hey, we got to refocus. Good job, but we back to the gym. We got to refocus. And that mouthpiece thing, go get you a new one. We can't have that. He admitted like he never got a new one. He got new teeth.
And he never celebrates. He like Derek. He to him, he's thinking about the next fight. He said he'll celebrate when he's finished training and when he hangs it up. Then he'll celebrate. Right now, there's always another fight, and there's always going to be another opponent. So He's like all business all the time.
Yeah. Very technical coach, man. I enjoy watching him make, him in the ring, make his adjustments. People want to see the boxer, but I like to see his adjustments, listen to the trainer tracks, because he gives good advice. And you got some trainers, they don't really give instructions. They really can't give instructions.
Yeah.
Well, man, look what he did with Mel Charlo is it's amazing because he knew what he had to do. He had to improve certain areas, and he did. Where Castano, he came in and he expected round 13. He was just going to do the same, just a little harder. That almost looked like a knockdown there.
It sure did, unless he caught him with a follow through because Rockman. Look, he still doesn't have the hematoma. It looked like Rockman landed a shot, but
it did. It did. We're gonna have to watch that one again.
Yeah.
Shout out to Derek James. He's a coach where he's making changes that we can see plainly in a fight. A lot of these subtle changes. Hey, D-Ray, bro, shout out to you, my man. Thank you so much for stopping by, bro.
What up, D-Ray? Yeah, you're right about that, Brucey. Charlo, Mel can box, but he got enamored and fell in love with the power and knocking people out. Derek James like, no, son. Let's reel this back in. Box your way. Set it up. And I was just like, round 6, round 7, the whole fight, Mel was in total control. From there, I was like, oh, yeah. It's over with now. It's just a matter of time. And I was like, wow. But yeah. I'm waiting on that hematoma to grow up.
I was just going to say, it's a matter of time before that hematoma grows. So he just touched his face. So maybe... I wonder, he's been touching his head the last few seconds.
And I was on Rockman's side in this fight because I liked Rockman.
He's touching his head.
Yeah, he's and Holyfield. It's business as usual. It's just the way that he fights. That's
look at it.
Look at that. I remember seeing that. It looked like a mouse under the skin.
But the way they literally were physically pushing it away from his eye, like ripping up blood vessels in his head. Like they're forcing it to a different side of his. And it's not even bad yet. Look at that head.
The movie Elephant Man comes to mind.
I never saw anything like this that happened.
And bro, this is only stage 1.
You're right. It's like an 8-stage hematoma. And you're right. This is like stage 1. Right? But right there.
It was sticking out bad, man.
Oh, bro. There's that head. Look at that ramrod.
He must have the world's hardest head because it wasn't that it didn't look like that hard of a headbutt, but look at Rockman's head. I
don't know, bro.
He's got like titanium in his head, man.
Well, hell, Holyfield got a big ass head. Man, that's Tim Bradley times 3.
That is just that.
Tim Bradley's head is about the size of Holyfield's head. That's another one. Tim Bradley, people said he knew how to use his head too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Tim Bradley he's on many of those lists.
Yeah.
The thing about Evander Holyfield, he did his headbutts and his elbows, but bro, he was such a beautiful boxer. He had that. He had such a great style. Even when he's getting pushed there, he's still coming in with uppercuts.
Yeah, that's why Tyson delayed fighting. He knew he can box and punch.
I had some guy telling me the other day how Usyk was the best cruiserweight of all time, hands down. And in fact, he came in my chat. I was doing a thing on Sunday, and I said, that's why I didn't want to drop it. I don't like dropping links, George. People say, drop a link.
Right.
And bro, they get off topic and this and that. And he's telling me that Usyk is the greatest cruiserweight. I said, did you ever see Evander Holyfield? Oh, yo, I've seen his films. I said, but did you ever see him fight? I saw, he ended up telling me he was about 25 or whatever, but he never saw Holyfield. He never saw his cruiserweight career. He only saw him as a heavyweight.
Yeah.
He didn't know the names when I was mentioning Carlos De Leon. and Ricky Parky. You know who are those guys? So it's like, bro, come on. But anyway, man, I forget where we're even going, George. But
That
Holyfield.
hematoma, look at it, God.
Oh no! But Holyfield, I mean, even without the
It's only stage 2 right now, though. It's only
there we
stage
go.
I know.
That's the second trimester right there, G5.
Ooh.
I know, bro.
Yeah,
It's just like
he's not giving birth yet, not just yet.
No, I already know this fight. It's about to get bigger. It's
How
like it's
could
gonna
they
be a
not-
grapefruit.
How could they not stop this fight?
I was totally. And look where he got that scar. It almost comes out where whatever was healing that scar kind of sucked out the juice and formed that.
Look at it! Look at it! Look at it!
God.
And this was such an important fight that this broke. I think this was the last straw for Rockman. You know, he was never the same after this fight.
So they stopped the fight here, right? Now remind me, did they go to the scorecards? They knew it was a headbutt, right? I think they went to the scorecards on this one.
But see, you know, it's hard to really put that tag on Holyfield as a cheater.
Right. I wouldn't say he's
crazy.
a cheater. You know, that's a cheater's a guy like Margarito and Louis Resto. Like those are cheaters. Those are cheaters.
Holyfield is just bummed, and I don't think. Excuse me, Rockman is totally dejected over here, and I don't think Holyfield is happy. Oh, that's just
his head is still growing. It's still growing.
I've never seen anything like that inside of boxing. That's just God.
That's crazy, man.
Cut it,
Mick. Cut it. That thing looks like it would just explode if you took a pin and just
a little head like an alien. A little head would come out, look around, go back in.
Yeah, it's like that little alien head that pop out on Men in Black.
Yeah, exactly.
Like God, man, that's just
still
crazy,
like,
man.
It's still growing in front of our face.
I know, man. Like, bro, how hard is your head, dude? Like,
and he was getting hit on it. Boom.
Yeah, that was Holyfield. Rockman really initiated it because Holyfield was doing the same that he's been doing from round one. But man, once that, gotta give it to those cameramen, George. You ever give those guys any kudos out there for picking things up like that and getting those right up there, bro?
Yeah, I mean HBO and even Showtime. Now I know some of the camera guys. They're pros, man. They know you have to know how to shoot, and they get great shots, man.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Great stuff there, man. Great stuff. But yeah, we all know the outcome of this fight, so I'm gonna
yeah, we know the outcome.
That makes me rub my head, man. Like I'm looking to see if I have a hematoma. Like that was just.
Man, yeah, I touched my forehead. I was like, shit, man.
Man.
I mean, you get headbutted in it, and then Holyfield powerful ass punches a couple times on that same spot. It just zoo. I'm like,
but
man,
that must have Rockman was getting hit on that hematoma.
Yeah,
imagine how that felt.
Oh my God, it irritated. You know how when you get bit by a spider and it's just small, but it's slowly rising. It's like Holyfield he cracked that joke, bow, bow, and it just zoom. I'm like, God. I mean, it's like a baby, an infant head was growing out of side of his head, and it kept growing. Like, if y'all haven't seen all the way through, like, go pull that fight up, and they have pictures when it was ready to give birth. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, golly, man, that's, whew.
Bro, Chad Mullen, yo, get out of here, bro. We don't play those games in here, bro. Goodbye. We're talking boxing over here. Hit the road, Jack. All right, bro. We're talking about cheaters, man. And George and G5. You guys want to name any more before I pull up Fiesta Resistance over here, bro.
Like like back in the
You already
day.
said Resto.
Sandy Sadler was supposedly like back in the day. I hate to use the word cheater, but Sandy Sadler was a rough. He was a rough fighter. You know, I never saw him fight live, obviously, but
How about the dirtiest fighters in the game? Is that
Sandy Sadler, a lot of people say he's one of the dirtiest fighters ever.
Well, I'm not a historian by any means, but I've seen him fight Willie Pep, who was so skillful. Willie Pep
Yep.
was the bro. Willie Pep, you couldn't hit that. He was like Pernell Whitaker. He was like that way. He'd go a whole round, and he wouldn't throw a punch, and he'd win the round. Just beautiful. If they had slow motion back then, it would have been like a Bruce Lee movie. How he could. Almost a Matrix. He was an amazing fighter. And Sandy Sadler, he knew there was only one way to beat him: elbows, knees, headbutts. And bro, we're talking about fights where they didn't stop it for shit like that. That was almost
Nope. 15
glorified.
rounds. 15 rounds of that.
Hard rounds. I mean, they tackle you, bro. You know,
Hey.
you're in trouble. You don't clinch. You don't cover up. You tackle them. You put them down hard.
Some people said Sonny Liston cheated in that first Cassius Clay fight. They said he had liniment on his gloves, you know.
We've spoken that one here, man.
Yeah, we talked about that. I mean, that's, you know, I wouldn't call, who knows, boxing.
But I'll tell you, man, the last fight, the one that I want to show, and I'm sure we all got little stories about this one too, man. This was Louis Resto and Irish Billy Collins.
Mm-hmm.
And bro, I was a young fan at the time. I was a young first time around in the marriage department, man. I was jacking and tying it. I was working for a company called Can Do Products. They sold hospital environmental service cleaning products, which is in the hospital the environmental service, or they used to call it the janitorial department. Now it's got a spiffy name, but they're the second highest paid operations in a hospital, aside from the nursing staff. So it was a huge. I mean, I would get contracts with hospitals for floor buffing machines that were like $6,000 each, and they'd buy 100 of them. Can you imagine your commission on that, bro? But anyway, man, that was back in the 80s, and I remember this fight. This was Roberto Duran's fight against Davey Moore.
Davey Moore.
I mean,
that was June. That date's coming up. It's sometime in June.
Yeah. Oh, all right, bro. We're gonna do that one, man.
Yeah.
But we'll probably get that. That's a big fight. That's the kind of who cares? Like I said, we're non-monetized. We're here for fun. But for sure, bro, there's good fights almost every day. It's an anniversary for some of these grand fights. But this one right here, man, this was the undercard for what here?
Duran and Moore. Yep, undercard for Roberto Duran and Davey Moore for Moore's junior middleweight title, and this was on the undercard. And Billy Collins was the rising fighter. Louis Resto was the veteran, and Billy Collins was supposed to be. They were grooming him to be a star.
Well, you see, they didn't have a 1980 Olympics because we boycott. It was the Russians in Afghanistan.
Yep.
So CBS had their own little thing where they were featuring the Tomorrow's Greats, and Billy Collins was on there. He was featured a lot on there, and this fight was his breakthrough in Madison Square Garden, which was still considered as bigger than Las Vegas. They were out west. Even traveling wasn't as convenient and cheap as it was today. So west had Vegas, east had Madison Square Garden, and this was, like we said, Roberto Duran had pretty much been counted out. He's fighting Davey Moore in the main event, and Louis Resto, he was a Golden Glover in New York City. He had a few defeats on him, but he was trained by Panama Lewis. He was hardcore. I mean, he was in the Gamansky's gym, 52nd Street, whatever those gyms are in New York City. That's where Louis Resto trained. So he was brought in there as a stepping stone for Collins, a test. And bro, he proved that this fight proved very, very historic. Let me see if I can pull it up here, man. This was considered the number one cheating of all time, where the participant actually does time for this
June 16th, 1983, Bruce.
Yep, there it is, bro. Madison Square Garden, 10-round middleweight fight. Louis Resto and Irish Billy Collins, and this was this wasn't live on CBS. This was a pay-per-view fight. The Duran Moore fight, that was Top Rank. That was a pay-per-view at the time, and this was shown later on CBS Sports Spectacular. But yeah, man.
So Collins was 14-0, and Louis Resto 20 wins, 8 losses, 2 draws.
All right, George. Yeah, Collins was like we said, man.
There we go. 19-7-3, 8 KOs.
Yeah, very unimposing record. But he was a tough New York kid, Robert Sawyer. I remember the name just from the magazines, but I remember Louis Resto from the magazines. He was always always a top 20 fighter just because of the opposition that he fought and the era that he fought in. So he was never a marquee fighter, maybe outside of the smokers in New York. And he was brought in there as an opponent. I'm sure if you look at his record, his losses are more towards the end of his record than the beginning. And there's the Ireland's own Irish Billy Collins.
Mm-hmm.
From down south, man. There was a hell of a story about him, about the scandal that went on here, man. But this was cheating at its most blatant, bro. This was taking the padding out of the gloves. Oh,
I mean, you're talking about killing someone.
This was considered an assault. I mean, the cops came in the ring. The cops went backstage, and Resto, he was in denial. He knew what was going on, but he was. And there's this trainer, Panama Lewis.
Lewis.
The same guy with the black bottle we all talk about, the famous Alexis Aguayo and Aaron Pryor fight. Give me the one
I mixed. Yeah, that guy.
Amazing.
That bottle. I even know about. Yeah, but
this is 40 years ago.
Dirty, horrible sport, man.
The fact that they could get away with this, man, it's
he almost got away with it too. They almost got away with murder, pretty much. They almost. I know you'll tell the story about how at the end of the fight, Collins' father touched Resto's gloves, like shook hands with him, and he could feel his hands, his knuckles, right through the glove, and wouldn't let go. Grabbed his glove and wouldn't let go until the commissioner they came in and took the gloves, and then
I think they let him go on, but they said don't take those gloves off, and somebody kept their eye on him. It's totally bizarre shit, man. It's really it's one of the ugliest sides of boxing there is. It just ruins so many lives.
This is the worst side of boxing that you could see, aside from someone actually dying in the ring. This night was one of the all-time worst nights in the history of the sport.
It's almost like we have to watch it to let us know that this shit can go on in boxing today on the biggest stage of the world, and they can get away with it. And people talk about conspiracies and this and that, bro. I'm not going to say no fucking way. I'm not going to laugh at them, because look what happened here. And it's like you said,
anything can happen. We know people have a lot of kind of crazy conspiracy theories, but if you found out any of them was true, would you be shocked?
Nope.
No.
Because I lived through Louis Resto. That's why.
Right. I mean,
I didn't live through him, but I did my homework as soon as I heard his name. That was a while back.
Oh yeah. I think I turned pro in 1977 too. So we got something in common.
Did you see Michael Buffer, by the way? A young Michael Buffer?
Yeah, man, I was just thinking that. I was like, look at the young buff.
Yeah. I forgot that Buffer was the.
You got to catch him on ESPN when he still got his stud in his ear. That was when you catch Michael Buffer at a rare time. He took it out. But Michael Buffer, he's another legend of boxing. You talk to him, man, I bet you he would give you some fucking stories. I've read some interviews, listened to some interviews with him when he talks about his early days with the some of the old timers said, "You're gonna do okay, kid, but lose that let's get ready to rumble line," you know.
Well, he had other calls too. He used to say like, "Man, your battleships." He tried a lot of them, and there's clips out there of him saying like, "Ladies and gentlemen, man your battleships." Like he was trying all these calls until the one finally stuck. And in the beginning, he never used to announce it. He would just say it. He'd say, "Ladies and gentlemen, 10 rounds in the junior middleweight division. Let's get ready to rumble." He wasn't being theatrical like he is now.
Hey, let me shout out my brother Remy, my brother Jay Blues.
Yeah,
man.
Remy.
I missed him coming in here. You know, bro, I got to keep I got to do something, man, because I really hate missing my brothers that come in here, my sisters that come in here in the chat, man, because that's what it's all about.
Let me get my tablet.
There we go, bro.
So you got a bare knuckle fighter right now. Just remember, every single punch Louis Resto's landing, he's a bare knuckle fighter right now, basically, against a guy with gloves.
Billy Collins went back to the corner, and his father said that he told me that it felt like he was getting hit in the face with a stick.
Every single punch, even a jab from a bare knuckle guy, it's different than getting hit with a glove. And every single shot he took was from a bare knuckle fighter.
It wasn't both gloves, was it, George? It was just that right hand.
No, it was both gloves.
It was both gloves.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and this was such a otherwise glorious night, bro, for Roberto Duran and his fans. That is, man.
Yeah.
This was a celebration. I read about it the next day because I didn't see this fight live. It wasn't on a cable station. I got the info the next day from the I think it was from USA Today. Man, I caught it. I caught it when they showed the replay the following Saturday on CBS, and then, man, this stuck out such a something that you knew you're gonna put it in the books, in the history books, and pull it out again. Just the fact that the gall and the brutality, the violence, and how we should never forget this as long as we live. As far as boxing goes, this is Madison Square Garden. This is where Ali and Frazier fought. You know what I mean? This is fucking. I can go on and on and on. Sugar Ray Robinson and right on down the line, and Marciano and Joe Louis. Yeah. And bro, they got away with that shit at Madison Square Garden.
But Billy Collins didn't die from his injuries, but this killed him. I mean, he never fought again. He couldn't fight, and he became an alcoholic, and he eventually died. Not too far after this fight. It ruined it. They killed him in the ring. He just didn't die that night.
Mad Dog H, man, salute, bro. Thank you for coming by. Yeah, and you know that the thing too about it is, if Louis Resto had legit gloves, he would have done damn good in this fight. Because look at him, man. He's doing obviously the best performance of his life, but he's landing good body shots. I don't know. I don't know.
It's hard for me to I hear what you're saying, but when I just see him,
I'm talking about a perfect lollipop and bubblegum world. It's a harsh fucking ugly world, and you got to watch it at all times, man.
And he played a part in it for sure. But Panama Lewis ran that show, and Panama Lewis controlled him. And
Louis was a pawn.
Just disgusting, man.
But he was a pawn with a conscience. Once he got caught, he did his time. And when HBO came calling, he spilled his guts. He told them what happened. He didn't want to. He's a religious man. Most immigrant people that from that generation come from religious families. Yeah. And lying is not. You don't get into heaven when you tell lies.
But I just wonder if they would not have gotten caught that night. I don't think this story ever sees the light of day. I don't think Louis Resto is going to admit to this when he's, now. If he didn't get caught back then, I think life would have went on, and It's just
Well, Panama Lewis was still training fighters. He got banned from New York, but he was down in Miami, I think. And that's where Resto confronted him. And he was still working in gyms, training fighters. I'm sure now he's way too old, but he was a hell of a trainer.
Is Panama? Did Panama Lewis pass away?
I don't know, man. I can't look right now, but
let me find out. I'm about to find out.
You cats can find out if he didn't.
He died. He died in 2020.
All right, yeah, okay. Well, shout out to Panama Lewis, man. I'm not gonna wish ill of the dead. He was a character in boxing. Who knows what the fuck made him tick? He's a Don King,
man. Hey, you knew something was out. Billy Collins, his face was already getting glossed after the first round. You can look at his forehead, around the eye area. It was already pink. I'm like, oh shit.
I mean, when you
Andre Rodriguez, bro, shout out, man. Shout out to my brother Andre out there. Yeah, look at that face. You're right, G5. He was every punch was bruising, cutting, damaging. Yeah. That's why Collins couldn't fight again, because he had so much nerve damage in his face. His eye, he couldn't blink properly. I mean, he couldn't smile. He was fucked up. He got destroyed in this fight. He got everything kicked out of him. This was sad as hell, and great talented fighter. Oh, and you got to watch that documentary. It's out there on YouTube.
And then when he undefeated this fight, when he would.
Oh yeah. This was supposedly a stepping stone.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy, man. Like, damn. I mean, you was connected on him already, Resto. You didn't have to even have no pad now. That's the crazy part.
I know. I was just saying he's throwing some decent punches.
And Billy Collins had a 4-inch reach. He had like 73 and a half, or almost 74, and I think Resto was like 69 and a half or some shit like that.
I can't give Resto any props at all in this fight. I can't, just because again he was fighting with bare knuckle, and I know you guys aren't giving him props, but you know what? I mean, he got what he deserved, and Panama Lewis got to still make a living in the sport. He wasn't allowed to be in fighters' corners the night of fights, but you were right, Bruce. He still trained fighters. He still made money in the sport. And Louis Resto, he lived in a gym for years and years, and I don't even know what Louis Resto was doing right now. I can't imagine his life is good or productive. I don't know.
He denied it, right? He just he lived in his world of denial, and I think didn't Panama Lewis do time, or did he just get was it Resto who was the fall guy?
I thought Resto was the fall guy.
Resto was the fall guy.
And Panama Lewis just took bans from all the different states.
Yep. Only went to places that where he could, didn't have a ban.
Out of the United States, in other words.
Oh
yeah. Look,
yep.
Like, it's hard to even
Yeah.
Every time Resto lands a shot, like it's bare knuckle.
That's all about cheating in boxing, and that's kind of what we want to bring to light over here. If nothing else, man, I know it's the best time I have all week, bro. I get good and toasted. I watch some good classic fights, important fights, and just kind of goes to show you, man, be vigilant at all times, because boxers cheat. Sometimes to the extent of Louis Resto and Panama Lewis, where it could end another fighter's career. So be mindful, bro. Always, vigilance is only.
And even today, a lot of people think that Tyson Fury had loaded gloves or something going on with his gloves in the Wilder fights. I don't know if that's true, but again, if it ever came out and we found out that he did cheat, none of us would be shocked. So you would hope that today it's harder to with the commissions, but then you're putting your faith in these commissions that they're going to do the right job, the job they should.
Right.
So,
and I never do that.
No, it's hard to have faith in a lot about boxing. You know what? After this, Bruce, when we're done with this, I'm gonna throw on like Hagler Hearns or because I'm gonna like throw something in or put an Ali fight on, like cleanse my palate from this. But this is a side of boxing. It's a part of boxing, and
Right.
just
Just look at a couple weeks ago, how the 3 judges scored the same damn score for Canelo, identical.
oh
You know,
man.
like
I thought they were gonna rob Bivol because it was.
Man.
I thought he was up 9-3. I mean, I had it
You-
9-3, and
you and me both.
when I heard them say all 3 scores by 2 points, I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh
Woo.
my god, they're gonna rob Bivol. They're gonna rob him, and they didn't. But
they tried. Shit.
they tried. And Mad Dog H is in the chat says, I personally don't believe that Fury had loaded gloves. He might not have, but I'm just saying it's boxing.
You can't put anything past boxing, man.
Yeah,
No. Because then you look at his track record. All his
And
gloves didn't look different in no other fight except when he fought Wilder.
But you know something, G5?
Mhm.
It's always the fighter's corner's responsibility because nobody gives a fuck. You see what went on with Wilder? Nobody cares. It's the corner's responsibility. If they think there's any improprieties, like the only way this thing was discovered was
trainer.
Billy Collins' father, his trainer. The only way that Margarito got caught with his loaded gloves was Nassim Richards. That was fucking that was Mosley's trainer. So it's the corner has to be vigilant of this, and that's my whole point. Because nobody else is going to give a shit.
You have to and Wilder, you have to have the right person.
Scott, Mark Breland, they should have been on those fucking gloves, man.
Right,
JD's right away.
You have to have the right person.
That's your fucking job.
You know what?
Exactly.
I was in Victor Ortiz's locker room before he fought Mayweather, and I was with HBO, so I was in there working, and they started to wrap Ortiz's hands without a member of Mayweather's team in there. And I was on the headset with the truck, and I said, you need to get a camera in here because they're wrapping their hands, and no one from Mayweather's team is in here. The commission should have stopped them. They didn't. So Leonard Ellerby walks in, and he's like, no, unwrap both these hands right now. And Ortiz's corner started to argue, but they couldn't. The commission said, no, someone has to be in here. Someone has to be a witness from the other camp to see you wrap the hands. So they had to rewrap both his hands, and they were pissed. But it was a rookie mistake. You can't do that because you have to have someone that you trust in the locker room while those hands are being wrapped.
And bro, Vinny Paz, he told me when he fought Harold Graham, Harold Graham came out with his hands already wrapped when Vinny's seconds were just going into the watch the hands get wrapped. And he was a born again. He was a man of God. Everybody, he blessed everybody, and nobody looked twice. And Vinny says, "Motherfucker was hitting me with loaded fucking gloves," and there was nothing they could do about it. And his corner didn't catch him, and that's Paz's his excuse, man. Because that's all it is. That's all it can be. If your corner's not sharp enough to catch it, it's just a fucking. It's just fucking. Sour grapes, man. You know?
It's like gamesmanship. Like if they can get away with it and you don't catch it, then we're gonna do it.
You prove it, and that's the only way to move forward with it. Otherwise, you're just fucking preaching to the choir. Nobody gives a fuck.
Slide and counter. You're right, Richardson. He said Richardson seen Trinidad's raps against Bernard too, and that's right. He caught. They had to rewrap Trinidad's hands in that Hopkins fight too, because there's talk about Hopkins.
Yeah,
that Hopkins had loaded hands too. So
many people will talk about that, and Felix Trinidad with the plaster in his gloves. There's a fighter that I saw on Drew's panel one night, man. Because my fucking pea brain can't think of his name right now, and I'll think of it in a second. William Joppy. He says he'd fuck Trinidad up to this day because he swears Trinidad had plaster of Paris in those gloves, and he was on Drew's preaching it. But bro, it doesn't matter anymore. It's all order. It's you got to catch it when it's going on, just like Billy Collins Sr. caught Louis Resto.
Yeah, it's too bad he caught him after the fight, but at least
it
they
is,
caught
man.
him. At least they at least they caught it.
And it was great that Richardson caught Margarito before the fight.
And then what did Shane Mosley do? Went out
Oh!
and absolutely destroyed him.
Hey,
Destroyed him.
hey, Mr. Pads, I'm gonna answer it for George. Hell yeah.
I think Margarito had. Thank you. You can get.
Man.
You can answer that for sure. Of course he did.
Against Centron. Against
Hey, man.
Like go on box
Kermit
rec
was
and
on.
everybody. He had loaded gloves. Margachito, I think, had loaded gloves against everybody.
Miguel Cotto.
Oh my God.
You know, boxing to some fighters, when you're unscrupulous, it's not how good you are; it's how much you can get away with. And that's the way some fighters base their careers on that. People talk about Snack with Victor Conti. Maybe Victor Conti bases his career on how much he can get away with. Who knows, man? That's the way cheaters' minds work, and we're seeing a cheater right now.
Hey, Bruce. If I could plug myself, well, not just me, but when I was at HBO, I was one of the producers on the Cotto Margarito 2. We did a 2-part 24/7, and that first episode was probably one of the best ones I'd ever been associated with, and it talked all about their first fight. And I was in Mexico and had pictures of his hand wraps, and I was asking him with an interpreter, what is this? You could see the hand wraps, things were in it, and they all kind of like laughed at him, like, oh, I don't see anything in there, I don't know what that is. It's a really good inside look at that fight, at that rematch, but really the first fight. And Cotto hated Margarito, hated him with a passion, and you can see why. You know exactly why, because it was never proven that he cheated against Cotto, but it was proven he did it against Mosley. So you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that he probably did it in that fight too.
And Kermit had the interviews, you know what I'm saying? He has spoke about that on record, saying that, yeah, like shit, when he hit me, I was like, it felt like he was getting hit with a brick.
You know what? You just said that, and Oscar Prince wrote, Margarito used leftover drywall from the side job he did for me down here in San Diego.
Yeah. Oh man. Wow. Hey, the timing of that.
It was right on time with what you were saying. Like,
yeah, it's the truth, man. We have seen some of the dirtiest, rottenest characters in the world in boxing. And George mentioned earlier, we're talking about the boxers who've been in movies. He mentioned Requiem for a Heavyweight. And you want to talk about some really raw boxing from back in the freaking 30s or 40s. I don't even remember when, but no, wait a minute. It was back in the early 60s because Muhammad Ali had fought him. So this is, I guess it's a little more relevant, modern than I thought it was. But man, check out that movie, Requiem for a Heavyweight. You want to see a shady side of boxing that existed back then. Yeah. And man, it just kind of goes to show you that what's going on today. Boxing is a haven for thieves.
But that Requiem for a Heavyweight, not the best part, but that the first minute or 2 minutes of the fight of the movie, that's when Cassius Clay was in it, a young Cassius Clay before he won the title, and that was pretty cool to see that. I remember seeing that when I was a kid, and I was like, "Hey, isn't that Muhammad Ali?" And I didn't watch the movie till much later, like when I was an adult. But that's a lot of people say that's an accurate look at boxing and how it was / is.
Great movie. Great black and white movie.
Yep.
I mean, it's a black and white movie where you didn't even want it in color, almost like Raging Bull was in black and white, and you wouldn't want it any other way.
Right.
But them cheaters in boxing, and there's just so many of them. And Louis Resto, he knows he's got loaded gloves, unloaded gloves, whatever you want to call them, and he just is teeing in. He's looking He's looking his best. He knows he's fighting. It's like a guy with a BB gun fighting a guy with a freaking Magnum 357. No
If
fear.
you just turned this on and you didn't know who was the undefeated prospect and who was the veteran, right now it looks like Resto is the up and coming prospect because he's beating Collins up, and Collins, look at his face. I mean, he's literally in pain in the corner.
And I believe that's Al Braverman in his corner. The cut
He was
man.
a great cut man, like a legendary cut man. But Resto looks like the up and coming fighter. How Billy Collins made it through 10 rounds?
Tony Perez bro. No, it's just incredible how he was a tough kid, and like we said, this was his last fight. He died after this fight, supposedly in a car accident. They say he committed suicide, but he had somebody else with him in the car. And man, just a bizarre story. Sad, brings tears to our eyes. Even watching this fight, bro. It's hard to do, but we're tough motherfuckers around here, man.
You got to be tough if you're a boxing fan. Yeah, you have to be tough to be like the heart a boxer has getting in the ring. I can't even they're like the top of the heart chart, but you got to be tough to be a boxing fan too.
And you got to realize once again that this shit goes on in boxing. Yeah. You think they're gonna stop it because of Billy Collins? Because some kid from Tennessee got killed from tampered gloves? How do you think Louis Resto got the? How do you think Panama Lewis got the idea? You think that let's try it? Come on, this is tried and true stuff. He got unlucky because Billy Collins' father was right on it.
Yep. But the fight's all Louis Resto. I mean,
yeah, it's a beatdown, bro. It really is. It's like Conchanery just said, bro. It's tragic.
Yeah.
Tragic stuff. Yeah, I don't even know if we want to watch the end of it. What do you say? You guys want to watch it or what?
Well, I would say go to the end, because I'm pretty if it should have a Collins' dad at some point. It was probably, I don't know if it was before or after the decision, where he walks over to Resto.
All right, we got you, bro. We're within seconds of we're within a few minutes of the ending. So, yep.
Yeah.
Bro, I was with you, man. I couldn't watch the beatdown anymore.
No, it's hard to. It's very hard to.
Sad, man. Real sad. It's effed up too.
And Billy Collins, but he has what all fighters have. He's fighting on heart right now against a bare knuckle fighter.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, Resto, it shows how hard you really can hit, because you still couldn't really knock him out.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Probably would have been better for Billy Collins if he had gotten knocked out in the third round instead of taking 10 rounds of punishment. And the pictures of Collins' face after the day after it's horrible. Mm-hmm. I think Ring Magazine or one of the magazines had it.
Oh yeah, he was on that. It was on national news.
Yeah, it's terrible.
You'll never forget
feel his knuckles going across your face.
Yeah.
For every punch.
Rounds. For 12 rounds. Look at
that one hurt. Yeah, that one hurt.
10 rounds. I'm sorry.
But yeah, it would have been much better for Collins had he got knocked out in 2 or 3 rounds.
Ooh, it's a weight, y'all. It's about to swell up. Billy Collins is gonna swell up more. Just wait. Just wait. Oh man. You see, he had to take the head shake like shit. What did he just hit me with, man?
Hey, it's what the hell just happened to me? Oh.
And Louis Resto, he won a minor belt there. I don't know exactly what this was for. And George, I had one of those.
Wait for it. Come on.
There we go.
There, that's it.
That's it.
He shook hands with him, and then he wouldn't let it go. Yep. Look at Resto. He's like, "Let me go." Look at that. And he looked over to Panama Lewis.
Like, come here.
Go. And that was Resto that went over to his corner to congratulate them. And he would not let his hands go.
Yeah, I remember letting him go because he, that now they're keeping an eye on him. See,
but look, he's right there. His father's right there in the.
Panama Lewis. I don't know what happened. The glove was all checked by the commission. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened.
I mean, had Resto not, and I didn't realize Resto went over. Look at Ali and Floyd Patterson.
Ali
and Floyd Patterson. Look at that.
Wow.
At least there's some good that came from this. Howard Bingham was right behind Ali.
That's why I love watching these fights, George. Just the attendees.
Yeah.
The crowd.
That made me feel better about this night. And look at Resto. Had the audacity to put his hands up.
After being accused already by Colin's father.
Cheating bastard. Man. Can't stand cheaters, bro.
Most of those cheaters are like that. They'll go down the toilet screaming they're innocent.
And until they can't prove it anymore.
Yeah, but see, this was where I was like, wow, I remember watching this. I remember him after he grabbed those gloves, he still walked around the ring and celebrated. This is what I remember, going on.
But thank God they followed through. The commission
for sure.
there, and they took the gloves.
You know how easy it would have been to get him right off as soon as the fight was over. It's a good thing that he went over there with his gloves on.
Yep.
Now look at that, getting hit with a loaded fist like that. And bro, it's not a bare fist. It's a fist with tape on it. Yep. You know what that tape does?
Hardened.
Oh, you could wail on somebody with tape on. You wouldn't bust a knuckle.
Just like when George talked about it, if you soak tape in water or soap or something and then let it dry out, it's gonna get tough. It's gonna get real solid, like you're trying to mold clay or some shit like that. And it's just it's terrible, man.
And that's what we just saw there, bro. We just saw probably the biggest public humiliation or cheating, however we want to call it, but that was the was the biggest I've ever seen in since I've been watching this glorious sport. That's the one we just can't watch. That's like for tragic endings in fights. I almost cannot watch the Conor Ben
and McClellan.
Yeah, Con. They'll soak it in water and let it dry out. It is real hard.
Hey, Bruce, we gotta pick a. I mean, this is a great topic. Great topic. Next week we'll come back with something that's gonna just make us smile all night.
All right, man. You put your head in gear a little bit. I know you're involved in the Smith project, so shoot me some ideas.
Yeah.
And we'll get a nice one together, bro. I think we had a great, man. 2 hours went by so fast, and I just looked at the timing. I said, "Damn, we've been here for 2 hours already."
Sure have.
Because my water, my ass is getting sore, and I've been on, bro. I've had this couch in my house since 2001. I'm getting a new couch delivered in a few days.
All right.
So believe me, it's a lot of work. This sucker is a sleeper couch. The place is too small to turn it into a sleeper. So it weighs about 5,000 pounds. And I got to get it out of the way, get the rug out underneath it. My back is in another world right now. But anyway, man, it's been a great 2 hours. I had such a blast. G5, tell them when they can get a hold of you, my brother.
Man, shout out to my man, Brucey. That's my guy. And my man, George Jack, man. Appreciate you, brothers, as always, man. Great show. Hope everybody, that a lot of y'all are already privy to these fights and things that go on in boxing. It does happen in a violent sport. So, it's good to just, highlight and just educate yourself on this type of stuff. They go on different type of tools and tricks that they use, and it still goes on today. We might not catch everybody, but hey, I'm pretty sure somebody, jipping with the gloves. We've seen some fights where people were taking padding out or they had skin gloves. So, this is for educational purposes only, and our entertainment as well, but to enlighten us. But y'all can find me at G5_Gabe, Instagram, YouTube, Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. cleanup. We live every day for hours, man. Also, Tuesday nights, hell, we here. Tuesday night fights.
Thank you, my brother G5, man.
Bruce
Thank
Gas,
you, my
George Jakovich, and myself.
George, peace, my brother. George, I'm gonna kick you out of this fucking joint too. You want to say anything before you get the boot or what?
Hey, I love doing this with you on Tuesday nights, and check out G5, subscribe, and subscribe to Bruce. You can find me, George Jakovic. I'm on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and I do a weekly show, One Round with George, just a little recap of the week or the last few weeks. This is what we love to do, Bruce. I love talking boxing. I love talking boxing with you, and I can't wait till next Tuesday.
Salute, my brother. Peace to you, man. Thank you so much for gracing this operation. And guys, girls, Macadocious Mac of the South, my brother, man. Always a pleasure to see you, man. Thank you for coming by. Always showing the love, man. Shout out to Chad Mullen for coming by here, man. Peace to all you, all you loyal brothers, man. Hey, man, I just got Vinny Paz just tweeted, "Stay strong, brother." I just got my, you know how your emails pop up in the right-hand corner of your show here, blocking the chat, of course, but yeah, baby. Andre, man, everybody out there, man. Thank you guys for coming by here. The throat's getting dry. Like I said, the water glass is almost gone. Salute Derek Bailey, man. Thank you guys for coming by, man. Don't forget to hit the like button. Some people don't care about it. Some people do. I kind of Derek Clark, bro. Thank you, my brother. I kind of do. But anyway, man, I'm out of here this evening. I'm gonna do one more hit on this Toker 2 before I go. Share it with my family, man. Remy, my brother. What about me? Peace. And you know what I have to do? I didn't do this today here, man. This is something that we have to do over here before we go. Let me see if I can find it here. Let me see if I can find it, because this is a absolute here with Bruce Gas when he comes on.
Shout out Bruce Gas.
Whoa.
You know I had to drop a track for my boy.
Slugger Sam, bro. Salute.
Have any arresting boys out here telling favors. I'm the hardest young nigga, I ain't signed to no label. Hey, Bruce Gas putting no fights on the tape. Calling that boxing since Kane versus Abel. Smoking so much gas, you would think that shit was fatal. I'm the people's champion like Muhammad Ali. Shout out Bruce Gas, one day we gon' meet. Yeah, we gon' blow it down, we gon' smoke hella weed. Yeah, we gon' blow it down, take a hit out the Toker 2. Slipping hella shots, feel like Tyson with the people. Little Glock on my side, but it hit just like Isaac Cruz. Shut out, man, chatting real shit, that's my fucking dude. We always cooking on the pan. Strapped to my side, I ain't talking about no sand. Bruce passed me the blunt, I'ma light it like a candle. Ayy, non-stop bars, man, I always spit flames.
Salute, Slugger Sarah. Appreciate you coming by, along with my bro Slugger Sam.
Feel like Bruce Gas always got a different strategy.
Yeah.
You ain't like me, you can never feel my pain. You win and you lose, well, this a fight game. Don't beef on the net and the shit won't change. Said that on the stream, gotta do it for the game. Said that on the stream, gotta do it for the chat. I ain't undisputed. Yeah, hold on, I ain't undisputed, but I want all the straps.
That's my brother 150 taking us out of here, man. Bruce Gas, thanking you all for coming by. We'll catch you again.